2-hour thing. We'll see if that holds.
Well, just do what
Say again?
I said. Just do what you think you can handle.
Yeah. Indeed. Quick. Uh-huh. Okay. Gonna edit this. Change its. Can I change it? Thumbnail. Change. Appropriate. Oh, the thumbnail's too big. Great. Great. Do I not have a smaller version of that?
Hello there.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Oh, is that Bisque? No, it's Cryo.
I was told in high school my voice is rather feminine. Let's see here.
Oh, you were doing that on purpose.
Let's see here.
Can I do that? That's like a lousy. I want to get a better picture, but you know what? I didn't plan to do that earlier, so it's too late now. Let's go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another Variable Productivity live stream. I'm your host, Rodolus. The two is silent, co-director of Tales of Adventure Armada. Today, I'm joined by Rocket, Pow, and Cryo. Genic Drawer. Going to be doing some modeling work on the poll winner, Millie Coyote. You'll see her picture on the thumbnail I uploaded later. Right now, I got some dinky little picture I'm going to put there for right now. I'll find something else later. It'll look better after the fact, I promise. Any case.
For a hot second, I thought, like, when you're introducing it, because of, like, the light pause between Rocket and Pow, I'm like, I'm here with our Rocket.
That would be
We
odd.
just have one.
This is a threat to our fans.
Do you feel threatened? That was the intention. Thank you very much for coming by. All right, so right now, you should be seeing a Swirling Tails. I can make it happening.
I see a pretty sick Smash Brothers trophy.
Yes, music kind of makes it feel like Smash Brothers, I'm sure.
You just gotta get the ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Like, press start! Brothers, I'm sure.
Let's start to play.
Super Mario Kart! Like that. But I'm
They
currently
still
playing
do
that.
that, and I love it.
Welcome to Mario Kart.
That's like a Mario trend I'm so glad has never gone away. It's like in every game.
Very
Still
arcadey, and
present.
it's
Love
nostalgic for me. I remember playing that on the N64. I'm like, oh yeah! Any case,
that.
but
And I
yeah.
love when you go into like Mario Odyssey and he just like yells it with such joy.
Super Mario Odyssey. Is that how he said? I don't know. Because I'm thinking Galaxy right now when he did. Any case, let me know if the music is too loud or if you can hear it at all. Because if you can't, then that's a problem, and if it's too loud, then that's also a problem. I'm trying to avoid problems here today. Any case, let's go ahead and get started. I'm giving myself about 2 hours. So, as you may be aware, the winner of the poll was none other than Millie the Coyote, the confectioner and weapons manufacturer of our game. Bender.
To her.
That's great. We put a robot up there. Honestly, the robot had it for a while, and then, Millie, they were neck and neck the entire time. 19 votes. Thank you for all of your participation. But I'm glad it wasn't a tie. I'm getting kind of sick of those around the project. That's internal. I'm not going to talk about it. But let's go ahead and get things going for real. I just need to do that by
I
finding.
don't see a problem with admitting that we are a little bit indecisive because we want to get a lot of people's input. Sometimes that leads to disagreements, and that's just part of a project.
That's
Oh.
true.
Oh, it's about indecisiveness. I thought Rodolus just didn't like certain attire.
I don't know where you got that idea from or where that even came from.
It's like I'm getting sick of ties. I'm like, I guess he just doesn't like suits.
Oh, okay.
He just
Doing that, bringing in that cryo humor. Not, yeah, cryo. I was gonna say cats on humor, but he would make the same kind of joke too. Kind of works both ways. All right, gonna go ahead and smooth this over. Go for the next shot. All right, so today we're doing Millie. Like I said, we got some pictures of Millie. We're gonna throw them in here. We're gonna delete this cube. Cube be gone. My app stream should be showing that. And I gotta find out what I did with the pictures. Okay, here we go.
Wait, I like that little pop up little image render. Like when you start up Blender, it looks like sort of like a knockoff Kano looking kind of thing. Now that I look back on it.
Oh, you're talking about that's the girl. Okay, so did you see Sprite Fright, the Blender open movie?
I might have.
I think I shared it with you guys sometime last year on Discord, but it's a really good movie. It looks like it was made in looks like claymation, but it isn't. And it's like this really expertly made, Blender open movie. They make a lot of good stuff, so really kind of neat.
Hey, Jinx is here.
Hey, Jinx, welcome. So yeah, I should make it known that the artist for Millie Coyote, I'll do this for the VPL progress report. I'm going to make sure you get credited for this character art and honestly concept of Millie Coyote here. That is Rocket Pal, who's in here in the chat with us today. Just in case y'all didn't know. He drew it.
So tell us, Rocket Pal, what was your philosophy when designing this intricately crafted Sonic the Hedgehog original character?
I can't remember.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's the man's honest. We can't fault him for that.
I mean, well, we can go over the original idea that we had for her and how she sort of evolved over time.
Sure.
Remember when we had that first iteration where she was sort of flirting with Tails at the cashier desk?
I do remember. In fact, we have a picture of that right here.
Yeah, that eventually became outdated because we thought, you know what, she seems like a nice person. Maybe she's just more like an innocent cashier clerk who's a little bit more introverted.
When you said oh, we have a picture of that right here, I'm imagining Rotolis in a conference room, just doing a PowerPoint of Tales Adventure Armada.
Still working on it. I have the picture, but I didn't download it, and that was fine with it.
Well, I mean, you didn't know you'd have to use it, so I don't...
Yeah, I know. I should have waited and didn't until I had it.
It's let you guys stuff like that, not in the drive as archive stuff or
It's on the drive, sure. It's in a lot of different places. I'm sharing my whole screen for the chat. You guys will only ever see what's on Blender, but here is a picture. One of the first after her concept art was completed. One of our first interactions that we had between Millie and Tails. He's like, I got you the good stuff right here. I got some weapons. I got some bombs. And he's like, I want candy. That's not a part of it. That's what she said.
Hey, I got some bombs.
Yeah, I think the original idea that I had for her was she was supposed to be trying to put moves on him, but Tails would never catch on because he was more focused on actually getting the weapons and inventory he needed in order to beat the Armada.
It's appropriate.
He's there for candy, but her bombs will be candy oriented.
Yes.
Candy quotation.
It's like a mix of things. He makes candy weapon. And then rotate
It
them.
sounds horrific, like a grenade, but instead of shrapnel, it's candy, but the candy is gonna become molten and hot, right? So
it's jawbreaker material.
Imagine molten taffy getting molten taffy getting fired at somebody and then it hardens around their skin.
Yeah, it's sounds awful actually. So, as you play as Tails of the game, you'll commit more and more atrocious war crimes until the battle birds simply give up and leave.
It's delicious death.
Delicious destruction. It's gonna be what we put on the box.
It's delicious
why
war crime.
My most recent version of the script, they openly call him a war criminal.
Oh, well, yeah, the battle birds would definitely do that.
The thing about this, Speedy, I'm only a war criminal from your perspective.
From your perspective, right?
Mind a little bit.
From a certain point of view.
You're being a war criminal to me.
Yeah, well, I was just kidding.
No, it's like
Just a prank.
It's a prank, bro.
I'm a war criminal from your perspective.
Murdered millions of your men. Just a prank. Just a prank.
Look, man. From your perspective, I'm a war criminal. From my perspective, you are. That makes you the bad guy exclusively, not me.
Yeah, also, my name's on the box, and you're just going to have to deal with that one, Speedy. I'm sorry, don't know what to tell you. I don't make the rules.
The villains are written by the winners.
Origin.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
maybe it's like one of those games where the main character dies, like that character Last from Last of Us.
This is like I can't think of another Sonic game that has you fighting living creatures. So it is kind of interesting that.
I mean, Dark Gaia?
Tails-
Well, Dark Guy is like a monster. It doesn't have a
He's a
face, and no
demon.
one cares what it thinks. Like, this is
Tails-
like
Tails,
people.
like
Diablo
fights on
monsters.
the first game with napalm bombs. So it's like.
No,
Big
it's like
guy.
whenever Sonic fights like living creatures, it's usually like gods and demons.
It's like things that you don't necessarily empathize with, monsters like Dark Guy, like you were saying. Yeah, I think this is possibly the only game
Oh,
that's like that.
I think oh my gosh, the enemies from Lost Worlds, those bosses.
The Zeti, that's true. They didn't die,
Yeah.
though, did they? I don't think.
I don't think they died. Just go defeated. I didn't watch it.
I'm trying to think of a Sonic game where Sonic fights like living creatures.
Well, besides the Zeti there.
I'm
Unless
thinking, like, the classic games. I can't
Shadow
think of any-
is a
Well,
robot.
there-
I'm kidding, no, he isn't.
I mean, does it
Oh,
count?
Anyway, he fights Eggman on a daily basis. That's a living being.
Well, he doesn't
Let's go
ever
with,
hit
like,
him.
Let's say defeats living creatures as like a normal enemy, not like a boss. A boss you can easily they got knocked out.
Like that,
Yeah,
or
like Sonic
like,
Heroes, he basically fought nothing but his own friends.
Oh man, no. I'm thinking like you said, he never hits anybody, Rotalist. That reminds me of the opening to Sonic Colors, where it just ends on Sonic getting ready to punch Eggman in the face, and I just love
A scene that never occurred in the game itself. I don't know what they were
Yeah.
going for. Like, are you trying to make Sonic look edgy? It's too late for that, you guys. It's just too late. Not gonna happen.
Sonic Battle, where you're constantly beating the shit out of your friends.
Okay. I haven't played that game, but probably. It's a good example, I suppose.
Thinking,
That's an extra canonical, of course.
Does it count in
Suppose.
Sonic 3 when he fights like that golem that's just randomly there?
That's just that's like a robot, isn't it?
Is it?
I always thought it was just a big stone robot made by, I guess, whoever built that pyramid.
In my mind, I'm like, is that Eggman's? I don't know.
I don't know if it's Eggman's, but it's somebody's robot. I mean, sure, like nobody makes robots in this universe except for perhaps Eggman and Kurikov. Actually, maybe. I don't know. Not a lot of inventors going around making things. Well,
Yeah.
Gun, I guess they have robots.
Of course, canonically, Tails hasn't really killed anybody except for maybe the Battle Lord, and he was just trying to blow up the place. So, like, we're not gonna bring it up mostly. Not gonna
Yeah.
bring up that he defeated countless of.
He also fought that snake in Forces.
There was a big.
Snake?
Okay, you're talking about Sonic. The Sonic Forces
Right,
get
right,
eaten
right.
by the
Oh,
big floating snake.
Just like,
What about the giant the giant at the
Crocodile.
end of Sonic Adventure 2?
the-
Giant
Oh,
lizard?
the Biolizard. I guess so.
yeah, that's
The ultimate life form.
Synthetic. It's like,
Well, so is Shadow by that logic. He did technically die, but Sonic didn't kill him.
I like
Shadow
the
was killed
idea
by
of
his own
Shadow-
hubris.
Considering the fact that Shadow's like synthetic and immune to all disease and technically a robot, so he'll never age, I like to imagine it's like Superman, where it's like you see Sonic go so fast that he goes to the end of time before the Big Bang resets everything, and you just see like a mournful shadow off in the distance.
Hey, Sonic.
There's also the Eraser Jin, where he literally beats the shit out of his heart.
Is that what happened? I still haven't played that game. Look at me,
Oh, man.
fake fan.
In Black Knight, they fight dragons. So I guess
Ah,
there's
Fights
plenty
fire
of living things.
yeah, it's usually things that
But
don't
these
talk.
are bosses.
Yeah, and I guess those are living creatures because in the world of Sonic the Hedgehog, every form of literary work in the world becomes real.
Unless he
There's
fell asleep.
also Mario and Sonic They Live games where Sonic can literally stab Mario with a rapier.
Well, it's just the Olympic Games. They don't have real swords. It's just a foil. It'd be funny if it was a real sword, though. Just stabbing
In
people.
Sonic
with-
and the Secret Rings, you fight dinosaurs.
Why do I want that? I don't want.
Well, he doesn't fight dinosaurs. He runs away from them, or runs on top of them.
I'll give this
Millie
to you.
No,
won.
no, actually,
get
another thing in
Millie.
Secret Rings, he fights like all those weird
Yeah.
monsters, like that scorpion thing.
Oh, were you reading something? Oh. Oh, what is this? Oh, you guys are just typing things in the thing. Okay.
Does Sonic Unleashed count? Like the Dark Gaia spawns?
Wait, no. Dark Gaius? I don't know. I have no idea. I really can't. I have to focus now. We'll just keep.
Oh, hey, Yaiko's here.
Hello, Yaiko, and welcome to the stream chat here. All right, we got to make this face now. So far, we're working on a Millie, or at least I've begun this. I've brought in a sphere so far, but then I've kind of gotten a little bit distracted. That's my fault. Let me go ahead and get back to it. You can talk about whatever. Also, let me know if the music is too loud. There's only one person in the chat. Hello, PJ. Thank you for coming by. But let me just check that.
PJ is our ever supporter.
Thank you very much.
We can we haven't streamed in like 5 years, and we'll stream, and PJ will be there.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we're not going to be nearly so neglectful in the future, PJ.
Shout out to PJ.
Shout out to PJ.
You know, I'm thinking about Shadow now, living like a life like Superman, where he lives forever, and it makes me think like, what's your favorite type of Superman story?
Favorite type of Superman story?
Yeah, like how do you like to experience a Superman story? Like, what do you
On
like? What's
film? I don't read a lot of Superman stuff. Usually, it's when he's working with other superheroes.
Typically, I think the best stories are when they're focusing on him trying to be human instead of like being seen as this savior.
Fair enough.
Right. Like, I love like a Superman whole pathos of the fact that like the only reason he's as good as he is because he was raised
Mr.
by
Quivy said he'd still be here too. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I guess
Mr.
comments
Quivy.
like that will inevitably leave people out. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say-
Welcome. How's it going? I mean, you say it all the time.
We got a lot of regulars.
But we do have a couple, and thank you all for staying with us so far. We're trying our best. Sometimes.
I'm thinking. I think one of my favorite details in Superman lore is when it comes to the animated series, where the I don't know if this is from the comics first or the animated series. I just remember it from that, where where the Kents wrap Superman's Christmas presents in lead so he couldn't see through them. I love that.
Where they get access to lead is my question. Lead is not exactly. Maybe it was the
They get lead
1960s.
poisoning.
Probably easier to get your hands on lead, but it's not like a thing you can
I
just
would
go
just
and buy.
put paint around it.
That's true. Lead paint was a lot more
Lead
prevalent
paint,
back then because they didn't. I guess they didn't realize.
You
Well,
had
it's not.
see-through walls back then, huh?
Yeah.
The fact that Superman is like this nigh unstoppable, infinitely powerful being, but he can't see through a pencil.
Well, that's not lead. That's graphite. He can see through a pencil.
Well, like an old pen.
I don't think. Actually, I have no. Did they ever use lead in pencils? I'll have to look that up. Because it's like that doesn't seem like a.
I always thought it changed, like they transitioned to graphite
I don't know.
after lead.
I mean, probably, but it also just feels like lead. It feels like too heavy a metal to be used like that. But then also, I don't know what lead is like. Never actually handled it myself. We'll have to look into it at some other point when I remember to
And then you
care.
got, what is it? What's it? Superman. Like, we want to tell an alternate Superman story. Okay, what should we go with? We want to do something different. Okay, something that's never been done before. Okay, something that'll shock the audience. Okay, evil Superman.
Again? All right, have this along. Access.
Evil Superman is like, what's like your favorite instance of evil Superman? AKA, like probably the only time you ever thought it was good. Because
Superman
then it's just
versus
done
the animals or whatever. Those that get those little gang people who were trying to get Superman to do something bad, and then he was all like, you know what? What if I was evil? I'd just kill all of you. Then what? That's the end of the story, because I'd be evil and I'd take over the world. Shut up. And then he was kidding. Well, he wasn't kidding. He was just like, he wasn't serious about it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it was like this movie that came out. It was
Right.
like an animated film, obviously, because it's typically DC's best stuff. But it was Superman versus like these Was it the mods? I don't think so. I have no idea what it was in the end. But it was interesting. I thought it was neat. It's like, Superman's like, I'll indulge you. Maybe I'm not a good guy. If I'm not a good guy, you're screwed. Stop wanting that.
I think all my favorite Superman power-up moments, because they're not even power-up moments. They're just moments where he's like, you know what, screw it. I'm just not gonna hold back.
Yeah.
It's like that Dragon Ball power-up moment when the Superman doesn't have weighted clothes. He just chooses to pull his punches all the time.
Like that one thing in Justice League Unlimited. We just started.
I feel like I live in a world of cardboard.
Yeah, that's
always
the one.
have to take care of to make sure not to break something, to
Or
break someone. What we have here is a golden opportunity for me to cut loose and show you just how powerful I really am.
But you can take it, can't you, big fella? Yeah, that whole thing. Memorized it. I remember watching that. I was like, yay! Anyway,
Such a badass moment. It's hard not to forget.
It was really cool.
In my mind, Superman is one of those characters. It's he borders the line. It's mainly because I've never had that much experience with Superman, but he is one of the characters in DC that I point to. I'm like, yeah, that's a relatable guy.
He's like Spider-Man.
As he can be. As much as...
Except he's not like Spider-Man because he doesn't have his life doesn't suck nearly as enough.
Spider-Man's an ordinary guy, but Superman's he has the spirit and generally is an ordinary man. He just has these he's just born innately a crazy powerful man.
Okay, let's see how bad I did on this face. Ooh, I don't know about that one, Chief. Hang on.
And the thing about it too is that you have a super powerful Superman, and I like the fact that he's just an ordinary Kryptonian. So any other Kryptonian that came down to Earth would be just as powerful as him.
Yeah. Only good. I guess the best part of that is all of them are dead, so he doesn't have to compare himself to anybody.
Well, no, he has his
He
cousin.
can just be the. Oh, that's right. Superwoman, Supergirl. I forget.
Supergirl, and then
She's
there's,
older than he is.
No, and then there's Power Girl, who's Supergirl from an alternate universe.
I thought she was just an entirely different person, but okay, fine.
No, no, Power Girl is literally Supergirl from an alternate universe, and then she was brought into the main universe, and she takes on a different identity.
Well, okay then. I gotta skip these eyeballs out of here. Ba, ba, ba.
And then you got Batman.
I think what you had. Hold on a
Hmm?
sec. I think what you had was okay, Rotalus. I think you just needed to smooth out the vertices a bit as they went out, so it wasn't as such a jarring transition.
Okay, let's give that a shot then. You're talking. Well, I gotta line it back up again because I undid all that work. Just gotta do it right, Gotta get it the right way. Only get one chance. Has infinite chances.
Except you don't, because we have undo buttons.
We do have undo buttons, and also.
No, I disabled that just for.
Oh yeah, just want to make sure that I'm always on my the top of my game. I've undone the undo button. That'd be ridiculous.
Level of traditional art in 3D. Sculpting, yeah, we're gonna be all right, you make one mistake, you screwed up the whole thing.
Like stone carving when you talk about sculpting, and not just regular clay. We only give you.
Renaissance guy just snapped his fingers and suddenly the sculpture just reset.
What does he do? I Control Alt Delete, Control C. That's what that is. The snap is the Control C button.
He doesn't even need to use the snap, dude. He just needs to use a reality stone.
Yeah, that's all you need is a reality stone. That's easy enough to come by.
I don't even know why he needs any other stone except the reality stone.
I guess because
it seems like the most powerful one.
Does everything
right?
actually.
I'll warp reality to have the other stones appear in front of me.
I guess you can make a fake version of them. I guess because they're they don't affect
Yeah,
each
you
other.
probably can't do that. They're probably
Is it fake
can't
if
be
you do
manipulated
fake
by the other
is it
stone's
fake-
power.
Yeah, that would be very
it's
broken
like
if it could be.
Phantom Ruby kind of thing where it's is it fake if people can physically interact with those objects and be affected by them?
Well, I think what the Phantom Ruby got wrong was the idea that perception was 100% out of...
The reality stone is basically the Phantom Ruby.
But not what I was going to say is all that perception is 100% reliant on sight. So I guess if you didn't see it, then it wouldn't then you would be like, oh, that's not happening. You wouldn't feel the heat. You wouldn't hear the sounds of anything.
Everyone just needs to close their eyes.
And they're like, just don't look at it. You'll be fine. Don't look at the sun. I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's see what that looks like. That looks fine here. I'm probably going to have to delete this, and not delete it, but I'm like, make a separate muzzle. I mean, that's what I was going to do anyway. That's how Sonic characters typically work. That's something I'm getting into. I used to make the muzzle and the head the same piece, but now I don't know, slowly changing that.
Yeah, typically Sonic characters have like a separate muzzle, like in most models. Oh, I think even SA2 does that, I think.
Sonic Adventure 2, probably. But I feel like whatever they're doing in Sonic Adventure 2 was completely, like, adventure-y. They were just trying to...
I think in Sonic Adventure 2, every part of his body is like a separate model that's just hovering
Yeah.
around itself.
Like
I think I think you're thinking SA1.
No, I'm thinking of SA2. Like, the fact that, like, I don't know if it's the cutscene model or the in-game model is the same, but, like, the cutscene model of SA2, every one of Sonic's limbs are separate from his body, and they just, like, hover around it.
Yeah,
Like,
if you're talking about the hands and the shoes, yeah, they're typically separated objects.
And his arms, too. Like, they don't connect to his torso. They're just hovering around his torso.
Yeah, but what I was referring to was in SA1, like everything, like each section of his arm was like a block.
Yes. Because they were just separate objects. Like, his arms were just like I don't know if they were pre-curved or if that's something that his rig was doing. I don't know. But it just felt like everything was just a part of him, like, separate.
Yeah, in order to fake the curve, they basically made his legs segmented blocks and, like, rotated them ever so slightly to eventually create that curve.
Yeah, that makes me think of the Mario 64 model where you can see all the individual things that were just smushed together to create that thing.
Oh yeah, well that's how they saved on, of course, memory, and the fact that he didn't have any textures; they were just like colors. It was very, very well done, I think.
I think Mario.
I think the only textures he had were on his hat and his face.
Yeah, because there had to be an M there, definitely.
Right? Like he had his M, his eyes, and his mustache. I think that's all, but to earn his buttons.
Okie dokie.
Ugh.
Mamma mia.
I'm Italian.
Yes.
I think it's funny. To think Sonic Adventure 1, at least in like the mainline games, I'm not counting Sonic Boom, is like technically the most varied we've ever seen Sonic's face ever get in a video game when it comes to expressions.
I guess so, huh?
Like the thing that I like about Sonic Adventures 1's animations, despite the fact that they're awful, is like they play around with like Sonic's actual, like, his entire face, his eyes, his mouth, his ears, his quills, to create varied expressions. You never see that in any of like the future games, as far as I can remember.
They realized that they didn't have to anymore. I mean,
I just want to see Sonic animated well.
well, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
If I'm totally honest with how the animations are right now, it feels just very like they're only doing the bare minimum.
Yeah, like just enough.
You're not wrong.
They're not even like. I think my least favorite example of animation, like non-facial animation stuff, because it's awful in Forces. I'm just talking like basic stuff. Gameplay is your running animation. Because Sonic's quills don't even react to anything, they just stay stationary and like still while you're running at all times.
Well, I mean, just in terms of his design, I feel like he needs to be a lot more expressive, like not just in terms of facial, but like body emoting.
Yeah,
but like the way he's. Oh, I feel what you're saying. You're like talking about like when he's just moving around in general, Like, in-game, I guess it makes sense that they barely have him do very much, but... Because you're, like, supposed to be focused on him going fast and all that kind of stuff. But I can see, like, based on the animations that you do, you'd imagine you'd like more of those kind of, like, little quirks of animation and movement that really makes him feel like he's a character and not, like, a template.
Like, if I were to be, like, in charge of animating, like, the Sonic characters, I would make a lot of Sonic's animations, like, he's very energetic. So like have animations that really go around that, like maybe multiple idle animations that just like convey that. Maybe just like
Oh,
super basic, so he's just like jumping around a bit, like stretching out. Like
you know what? I would love if we went back to the standard we had over 10 years ago. That'd be nice.
Well, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't know about that one.
Look, man,
Raptor,
Sonic
hey,
was
welcome.
that's
How you
actually looking
doing?
really nice, Rodolus. Like that curve, that yeah.
Oh, thank you. Want to get that brow looking right. And
Yeah.
Raptor.
the animations from Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. Oh, you like them?
No, those are good. Those are good. Sonic
That's
Boom
a
is
good
That's
example.
probably the best part of it.
Yeah, I actually that makes me realize what exactly we're missing with the franchise. We're missing a lot of squash and stretch.
There was a lot of squash and stretch in there. I was gonna say the same thing. Hmm.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like I don't know. I don't know if it's like it's like it might be a mix of everything. I don't know if it's like a level of competence or just time or what. Like
I don't know. It probably has a lot to do with time. I would suggest that's probably the greatest enemy of most Sonic games these days
Probably, yeah.
is time. They don't have any of it.
They're making the game like 2 days before it released.
You want me to?
How long has been Frontiers been in development?
Who knows?
I'm
I'm hearing. I'm not sure if it started like right after Forces, but I've also been hearing things that it's been like 3.5 years.
I think they said they started development at the very least, like they confirmed it around like early 2019.
Interesting.
And originally the game was supposed to come out in 2021, but apparently they delayed it for a whole year.
That's what we've all been hearing. You know what? I don't know what they were delaying it for, but hopefully that makes it better.
In my
Honestly, I think it. If you want my personal opinion, I think
do.
if they give it one more year, like if they delay it this year, I think that'll also really help their case, like making sure everything is like super polished. Because I think they really need to put their best foot forward when it comes to their next thing.
Yeah, I mean that's what they need to do, but also they don't because the movie's coming out, so they don't need to.
They want that tie-in. I know they want it.
Well, that we're still waiting on news for Origins.
They don't care about that.
I wonder if they're still
I
actively
want that.
like. Oh yeah, you do want Origins. That's the game that you've been most interested in.
Origins, because I love classic Sonic because it's the best part of this whole franchise. But like, man, they clearly don't care. I mean, one, it's like a port of old games, which is unfortunate too, because these have the potential to be like the best ports of any classic Sonic game. But if there's one word that I've learned to be completely dismissive of when it comes to the Sonic franchise, it's potential. Because it never matters.
Gratification says the animation in Boom partly looked better because Sonic's proportions avoided the man in a mascot suit syndrome his current design has. Big head, big hands, etc.
I've never heard it said so well, man in the mascot syndrome. Why do they have
Plague 06, definitely. When it's very much more noticeable when they use motion capture.
Yeah, no,
Very-
I mean,
very inappropriate. Characters don't even have these characters don't even have human proportions. Why would you put a human in a suit to pretend to be one of them? It makes no sense.
Yeah, no, and it's like
It also doesn't help that 06 eyes
Sorry?
don't move.
Sonic Unleashed used motion capture, and they got that done really well because they tweaked it properly. See?
Yeah, you can do
It
mocap.
definitely feels like they helped like clean up the motion capture data to fit his rig a little bit better. Like it's still noticeable at times, but Unleashed it's harder to notice.
Gonna have to look at what you guys are making reference to. I honestly haven't noticed the mocap in
Yeah, no, all of the
It's
cutscenes,
more
I think,
noticeable
are
in like
broken.
there's two cutscenes where it's a little bit noticeable. One where they're going into the last Gaia temple with the conversation between Sonic and Chip, and then Sonic walking into Eggman Land.
I can feel that.
Yeah.
It's always usually easier to notice a character when they're mocapped, especially when they're walking. What's it? But what is it when it comes to?
Let me save this actually.
When it comes to what is it, animation in Sonic games, I'm thinking like the fact that Sonic Forces, I mean, here's the thing. Sonic does animate in Sonic Forces when you stand still. He just nods his head up and down as if he's like breathing. That's like the only thing that he's doing.
Well, they didn't want him to look like he was dead, you know.
Barely noticeable.
Well,
But he doesn't blink.
blink, so
And it's like, bro, we are below the standard of 1991. Can you please fix this? Sonic 19.
Well, Sonic in 1991, Sonic was a prestige title, so you know.
I mean, they could have at least imported some animation. I'm not sure if the rigs are properly matched to Generations animation data, but I'm sure they could have figured something out with like importing some sort of animation to the model for
They could probably do that pretty easily because like it's a very, very similar model. You just need to tweak some things like minor rig stuff, I'd imagine, at least for those animations. Because Sonic's basically been using, I mean, not the same model, but basically the same mold for like
a
long time. For like,
I don't know why.
Well, that's Singapore. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
I don't know why you use motion capture for cartoon character. Well, you know, you've seen Monster House. That was no, not exactly.
I mean, motion capture can work for cartoon characters, but a lot of the time it looks weird. Like it's one of those things where it's like when I see characters like walk around, at least like from what I've seen of like Ratchet and Clank, when I see like characters walk and it's clearly mocapped, it bothers me. Like when I can notice that it's like clearly mocapped, and that's when it bugs me. But I'm thinking like what is it? When it comes to Sonic, and his animation, it's like, man, like why does Sonic not have at least like a single foot tapping idle animation? That's like his thing. That's bread and butter. That's like
impatient now.
Like,
that needs
He's
to be
too
much
impatient to get animations. He gets out the door too quickly.
He's like, I can't wait for you.
I can't wait for the animations to be done. I'm out of here.
I'm out of
I think
here.
one of my favorite. Actually, no. Sonic Forces has one idle animation that's ripped straight from Lost World. That's really nice. Where like, where Sonic, when you're skydiving, if you don't press the controller, he looks back and like, looks back at the player in boredom. Like I like that. That's nice. But it's also ripped from Lost World.
Well, you know, you can rip off the best game they've ever made. That's terrible. It's uncharitable in the extreme.
I mean,
I don't
Lost
think
World,
there's anything super wrong with using assets you've already created in your own company.
no.
Of course
It's
not.
like, it's a matter of when the assets are like 10 years old.
Or you just like
They're outdated and they don't look good anymore.
you can't just keep making the same thing over and over at the same time. So
I mean, that's why when it comes to like the Sonic model, I'm like, man, I'm not like, it's not that the modern Sonic model from like Unleashed doesn't work, because it clearly works in Sonic Unleashed and like Generations and other stuff. It's just that like it feels like it's being like used out of like laziness as opposed to just doing it because it works and it's really good. Like it feels like it regresses with each passing game in terms of the amount of quality and effort that goes into actually bring out all that this model can do.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, yeah, I understand the idea of reusing assets, but it's not keeping up with the times, and maybe there's an expectation that they're just
after a while.
Maybe it's the way that the people, the I want to call them showrunners, but they're not, but the folks who are in charge of making Sonic games are approaching Sonic, and they're like, he's kind of like an assembly line character. We know the things that technically work in these games, and we're just going to kind of redo that because it worked last time, and we didn't really see a blowback from it.
I remember watching a video of somebody like talking about like the change of Sonic's like design because everyone is like for some reason freaking out about his quills like they were green eyes, and I'm thinking like, what is it? When it comes to like the Sonic design, I remember it being described as like the new modern Sonic in the form of like all of his renders and his lack of animation makes him feel really corporate, and I'm like, what franchise do you think you're talking about right now? This is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Very cool.
It's like,
You think it's an indie
Yeah.
project? It never was, first of all, but like,
Sonic was a character designed by committee. Sonic was a.
I mean,
Really?
that's what the fans want.
I want Sonic to look the way he has always.
I just want a new classic Sonic game. I don't care about it. But
Right.
like, what's it?
Oh, didn't I? Of course I did.
It's like I like anytime I think about Sonic and like any of the future games, I'm like, man, Sonic Frontiers can be whatever. I don't care anymore. I just want another classic Sonic game.
And coming from my perspective, I'm one person who might never buy Sonic Origins. I do want the other game to be okay, but I'm also like not worried about it that much.
Yeah, no, because Sonic is like but Sonic is a character where the only way you can avoid disappointment is just by complete apathy.
Just don't worry about it. It's like it's gonna be a Sonic game, and we'll take it as it comes. If it sucks, then I'm gonna make fun of it relentlessly, like a jerk.
It's one of those things where like Sonic is just kind of a joke, and it's one of those things where it's like Sonic isn't like an undeserved joke. When people say
There it
like,
is.
"Oh, Sonic," like the whole rough transition into 3D thing, or like the whole like Sonic's like crappy friends, or like all like the multiple gameplay styles, and that the series has no identity. Every single one of those things is 100% true, and often people like deflect it and say like, "Oh, people are just complaining about like Sonic in 3D again." It's like, no, their points are completely valid. Like, I'm not even like, you look back on this franchise, it's a complete cluster. It is a mess, and especially as we reach this point, Sonic has barely any identity, is riding off the coattails of nothing but popular gaming trends from other franchises, which is par for the course for the industry, but Sonic is clearly like blatant, as if they're desperate. And Sonic is just kind of like, it's a joke, it's a shell, and it's just kind of pathetic. And especially when you look back at the prestige of where Sonic used to be, even in his inception, where he was sure created by committee and blah 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 blah. I mean, he's a corporate franchise, he's a mascot, he's gonna be that. But it's like these games were made using a pre-existing formula and decided to do everything in their power to stand out and be different and be fun and be the best it could be, and like rival a great franchise, not just to rival that franchise, but also to just make a good game, and taking inspiration from it in a way so that it's like, okay, let's do this, but let's like put it on its head. Let's make something wholly unique, and then like pave the way for like many other franchises and game characters and like developers and everything to come, because of how different and radical it was when it first came out. And Sonic is just kind of like existing because it's riding the coattails of that previous success, instead of actually still upholding those same levels of quality standards. It's just kind of coasting on success it had like 30 years ago.
I would have to say that matched up pretty nicely with the music stings that I had going on. So that's. Oh, if you're watching the stream, we heard the music in the background, just sort of swelling with Cryo's knee. So yeah, no, that's one man's perspective on Sonic the Hedgehog, a faded
it's
character
unfortunate
from the past, from years past of the Sega Corporation. Will he ever rise again? Who cares?
It's like, will we ever rise again? I mean, we have a movie. The games? What?
I mean, if this game fails, I can totally see them just going like, you know what, we're not making games anymore. We don't have,
No, here's the thing. No, they will keep making games so they can keep making movies.
Alright, keep him in the public eye.
Like,
This music makes
Like-
me think so much of Bowser's
Pokemon?
Road. No, this theme that I'm listening to right now, like the. I know it's not the same thing. It's
yeah, it's
Sorry.
unfortunate too, because like there's definite quality in like games past like the classic era. Because like Sonic Adventure is fun, it's fine. It's like one of those things though, when you're like, I hear like when you actually sit down and think about a Sonic Adventure remake and how much effort would go into that project. It's not like Crash and Spyro or like a Mario 64, where you're remaking a game that is clear cut, has a fully formed identity, is like, not necessarily simple, but it's straightforward, it's easy to understand. It's like, it's a solid good game with like a single gameplay style, or like maybe a few offshoots for like mini games or something like that. Like it's focused.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic Adventure is not focused.
It's
very
a minigame collection. Like, hey, look at what we can do with the Dreamcast.
it's a glorified.
That's just the Super Mario music. Took me forever to think, like, what the hell is that from?
Oh, the thing that I was doing, or the thing that you're listening to?
Thing you were doing.
Oh yeah, no, that's Bowser's Road. And I was just saying that what's it called?
I was like, my brain kept doing Super Smash Brothers, but I know it's not from that game, but it's just in it.
Man.
Yeah.
No, I know that feeling where you hear like a really popular game music and you think, oh, it's that one from Smash Bros. And then you're like, wait.
Definitely did not originate from Smash Brothers.
Right. What is it called? The Crisis City theme has always like the chord progression that always makes me think of Bowser's Road, and I can't not hear it whenever.
Which one?
What do you mean? Oh, from 64.
Right.
I love that theme.
Oh, Mario 64. I thought you were thinking about Mario Kart for a hot second.
Oh, like Bowser's Castle. I think that's. I don't even remember what the music from that one is. It's just like no, that's Banshee Boardwalk.
Bowser's Road from 64 is like the best freaking level music in that whole game. Oh, it's so good. It's like epic. It's like a freaking choir. It feels like it's swelling in.
Yeah, no. I'm thinking about
like, especially when you get to like the last level and the sky's like all blood red and purple. It's like, oh, this is so cool.
It was very cool. They had the little sitar licks in there. Bing, 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 bing. Like, oh, I don't know what y'all doing, but you're doing a good thing.
You know what? That is just Mario 64 personified in a single like beat of music. Just like the little synth, like the
yeah, I don't know. They found that button on the music mixer, and they're just like, I love this. This is gonna be in every song now.
It's in like so much, especially when you go to like Shifting Sandlands, where it's sort of like bam, bam, boom.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam.
I'm actually thinking about man, I cannot now. For some reason, it popped into my head and then disappeared just as quickly. Yeah, I'll come back to it later.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. The athletic theme. That's like one of my other favorite ones. I think that's the one, the little whistle.
No, fuck.
I would whistle along with that thing when I would play the game. I love this. It's amazing.
It's so good.
It's in my head now forever. I can't get it out. I don't want it to leave.
Whenever I hear that theme, I'm like, I know it's the athletic theme, but in my mind, it's just the slide theme because it's in all the slide levels.
Oh yeah, it is. That's true. That is true. But
it's also like the theme for like the last 2 levels in the game.
Yeah, a lot of the themes were reused, of course, because there's limited space on the on the 64.
It's one of those things where it's like there's not a lot of music in Mario 64, but the music that is there is so freaking
it's memorable. They got it.
And fantastic. It's like you're not gonna complain.
No, it's like the same song over and over again. You know, in fact, like the Bob-omb Battlefield or whatever is the same exact music. It's and I didn't realize that until later. Like, oh, that's the same song. Chili Mountain or whatever that thing was with the penguins had the same. It's just like a same song over and over again, and it wasn't until years later that I realized that it was.
It makes me question if like Lethal Lava Land and like Shifting Sandlands are the same theme. We just don't realize it yet.
Oh, I'm gonna have to listen to it again now that I think about it. Oh, I should go check out Give Us Sound. Excuse me, never mind.
Because it might just be like a slowed down, like really shifted version of that theme.
Not impossible. They reused it. Oh, I didn't delete the face in there. That's my bad. Excuse me.
I'm thinking like, what's your favorite level of Mario 64?
Mario 64, my favorite level. So, man, let's see here. 64. I'm trying to think. I actually can't think of one. Like, I haven't played this song recently, but it's like there are a lot of them that are good. I guess I did like The Mountain.
Saltose Mountain.
Maybe that's because it showed up in Galaxy 2, and I was just like, oh, it's here.
Yeah, you're thinking of Womp's Fortress.
Yeah, that's a fortress. That's right, not a mountain. The settings got a little mixed up in my head because they were so abstract in the way they were designed. Everything's like, oh, this is a mountain? Okay, sure.
And everything's just existing in this ethereal space of sky.
Yeah, it almost made sense because you were technically inside of a painting. Don't know how that was supposed to have worked. But
Mario Odyssey also confirms that those paintings actually lead to real places.
Yeah, that's true.
And Galaxy 2 makes it a whole galaxy. This small little space.
Throwback Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Yeah, it looks like Mario 64 was the first to do that then, because whatever. Doesn't matter. I did enjoy myself with that, but I think I did like that one just because I guess I played it a lot. It was the one that I kept playing, maybe because I wasn't good at the game when I first played it. But you know.
Oh man, I love definitely my favorite levels to speedrun. That's where you just like long jump over like this edge of like a wall, and then you could just skip like a third of the entire level.
Did I like the slide levels? I guess kind of.
I mean, like you got like maybe one slide level, and then the rest were just segments and other levels.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the one of the Peach's Castle, like the castle slide, was the only one that.
Yeah, no, and then you got like the penguin race, that one.
Yeah, that one, and Chili, whatever the heck it's called. I've screwed up her ears. One fell swoop. Brand. Hang on.
What is it?
Can I fix
you
this?
Got what is it? Dire Docks.
That one has a different piece of music.
There's and it makes me think like, is Dire Docks the same thing? Is it?
Of what? No. I know that the smoke. Wait, is that the underground theme that plays in Dire Docks, or something else?
No. Dire Docks is like the serene like water music.
No, yeah, that is different. The one that plays underground theme is the one with the smoke in it.
Mario. That's like the Mario Underground theme. That's like one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah.
Like it's like, you know, the Mario music, like the underground theme in Mario, is just associated with underground. The one in 64 actually sounds like it's made like to make you feel like you're actually underground.
Yeah, I guess so. Like you're in like a kind of a. I always found that level spooky when I was younger. I'm like, oh no, what's down here? What's that nasty little thing with suction feet?
I was gonna get lost because I always thought it was a maze, even though it's not really that big of a maze. There's only like one small maze section.
Yeah, man, I'm not a fan of mazes in games, and they got to do it right to get it right. And
have you done the one in Breath of the Wild?
Oh, you're talking about the Labyrinth? Yeah, I did that. It's one of the old, the big, one of the. I think there's like 3 of them, aren't there? Those big structures.
Yeah, I was actually stuck on that for a little while.
I was in there for a little bit. I don't know how long it took me to get through it. I think I figured it out, or if I brute forced it, I'm not sure.
I don't know if it's too small for you to be able to do this, but could you theoretically just use Raleigh's Gale to skip to the end by just staying on top?
I think I've seen someone do a speed run of doing that, like just that. They just sort of like dropped into it. Of course, they were using hacks. I think this one guy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have it hacks that respawns me in a random location every 5 minutes and try to finish the game that way. Like get up to Ganon and kill Ganon." But like the game would actually just sort of like after 5 minutes, it would just respawn him into another location, and he had to go around and collect all the items that he could in order to defeat Ganon. And I think he ultimately did it. But he's like a speedrun pro strats dude. He's been doing it forever, and I don't know.
He's one of those people that only like primarily uses the stasis.
No, he wasn't using. He didn't use stasis. I don't know what he did. I was watching. It was like the highlights from his stream because obviously those things take forever.
I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to do like the stasis like rock launch. I've never been able to do it.
Neither have I. I haven't tried. It just looks more complicated, and I'm still trying to like grapple with the controls once again. I started playing the game again recently. I don't know if I like these. I don't like these ears here. Not sure if keep them or not.
I feel like
kind of like bunny ears.
A little bit, or like really pointy and
pointy.
Long.
Yeah, they need to be shortened by a lot, and then of course
They're making cream.
Yes, cream is in the game. Remember?
Yes.
Not anymore. Sorry, all you guys who might have been getting excited. Not
he seems
anymore.
so salty.
I don't.
I'm thinking of what's it? Breath of the Wild 2.
A
One thing
little
that I
bit.
I don't know if they would be able to do this with Breath of the Wild 2, but I would like if they like, I don't know, made it like the act of like sprinting and jumping more fluid. Because you have to like do like this weird claw grip thing with your fingers if you want to sprint and jump at the same time.
Interesting.
Because your sprint button is to hold B, and then your jump button is X. So like, you got to do like this weird claw grip thing with your fingers, and it is a clear gameplay mechanic because like you use more stamina if you sprint and jump, so it's intentional.
And I don't want
It's
you
just really awkward to do.
breaking the game with your immense speed. Yes.
What are you expecting from Breath of the Wild 2 besides a good game because it's Nintendo?
Well, it's a good question. I expect... man. It's one of those things where I'm worried that I'm getting too hyped for it, but then I feel like my hype is sort of justified because I enjoyed the last one. I have expectations. It's not just hype. It's like, you did a good job last time, so I just want you to improve on that stuff. And, like, I can't imagine it being, like, too difficult. I've been watching some shows, some videos about how the mechanics work, because there was apparently some patents that Nintendo, Freudian slip there, that Nintendo filed for certain of their mechanics and how they would work, and it looks really interesting, like how the stasis will work, or like the rewind time, how it's going to rewind time for an object, not its state, whether it's on fire or something like that, but its physics will run backwards, and it'll still affect things in real time.
So wait. So how does the reverse work? Does it reverse like the object back to the point it was, or like does it?
It reverses the object along whatever path it took. So they were theorizing that what it does is actually it takes a sample of the keyframes that the animation plays when it's moving. Because even though things have games with a physics engine, those are still animations. They're just based on calculations done by the physics engine. So each one of those has keyframes. So, like, if you can imagine my example of keyframes earlier, right, where I showed you that cube moving around and translating and scaling a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's driven by the computer. Like the computer's physics engine is telling it where to go. So what it does, it's sort of like it captures little bits of those keyframes, not all of the information, but enough to be convincing, and then it does that for everything in this visible space that you might happen to do the stasis thing on. So that does take some memory. So they're assuming it doesn't do like a complete full animation for it. But like when you select the object, it highlights that thing. And then basically if a rock fell down a hill, like you saw in the trailer, it can basically trace back to when that thing was stationary again. So it'll go backwards. It'll run its physics backwards.
So will it just follow the animation, or will like anything it comes into contact with on its way back to where it was?
I think it actually will affect it. Like it won't so if a door, like there was a big wall or something that came down behind the rock, the boulder that's falling in this example, if the boulder comes in contact with that now closed door, it won't go through the door. It'll stop because it'll have run into another object. And I was like I'm saying, it was being explained in the video. I was like, that's really cool. I have no idea the math you guys had to do to figure that one out. And it's like, I can't wait to see how speedrunners are gonna sort of use that and just sort of mess with it, because it seems like it can be an entirely broken ability.
There's a way to find some crazy ass exploit.
Oh
where,
yeah.
Some rock gets launched from the other side of the map, and then they find a way to reverse it and jump on it at the same time.
Oh yeah, no, probably. Because it's what it won't do though is if you set it on fire or something like that, and you run it backwards, it won't maintain the fire. I think certain things won't be retained, but some things will, like some other I guess status effects. I'm just barely beginning to understand how video game programming works, as I'm trying to teach myself so I can help more with this project. And I find it fascinating. It's like, that seems crazy. And of course they patented it because, yeah, you want to patent, you want to patent that.
No one else can use it. You're not going to see it in Horizon. Too bad.
Well, I don't need to see it in Horizon. Horizon's going to have enough stuff that they've taken from Legend of Zelda. It'll be fine.
It's going to have enough anime finishers.
It's going to have a glider in it. So that's going to be nice. I can't wait to play Horizon. I did buy it. I'm gonna just play the
Honestly,
PlayStation 4 version.
imagine Zelda doing something like the Horizon like swinging mechanic, only you're with the hook shot, and you like swing around like.
That would be cool, actually, because we wanted a hook shot. I think like people have wanted a hook shot in that game, but I guess largely it wasn't necessary. But yeah, that would be sweet. Because Aloy's like sliding around with that thing. I wonder how well that's gonna work. Like I know it's gonna work because they've definitely play tested it and put it in the game. But I wonder how easy it'll be to transition from running around or using my shield wing glider thing and to jumping into that.
Yeah, because that's usually my favorite part of an open world game is the mobility.
String abilities together and movements. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember playing what's it called? Oh, it's the one where Cole McGrath. It's the electric dude from it's Infamous. That's the one. And you being able to sort of get a bunch of different abilities together and sort of fly through the map. It started making the world feel really small because you were able to get around so fast.
Man, like I love. Yeah, no, I like if you got a good mobility system in an open world game, that you basically got it. Like you need an interesting world design, and then you need a good mobility system. Those are like the two major pillars. Where it's like, you know, I want to be able to not only like have a lot of mobility options, but also be tested on these and have like sections of the map where I'm forced to use them in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like,
It's probably important that it's just fun to move around.
Yeah.
You just want to run around for hours for no reason.
Yeah,
It's just fun to
have a
do.
good time.
I've said this before, but that's the entire appeal of why people like open world Spider-Man games.
Hey, Spider-Man, GTA, it's fun to drive around because you do stupid shit and run into people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Infamous,
Play-
you're flying around. All the Spider-Man games, you're running up buildings and web swinging.
Play
Batman,
Sandbox.
Arkham's City is just fun to move around. You zip lining all over
You
the
like
place.
dive
and
bomb
Yeah.
people.
dive bomb people. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's right. You have to in an open world game. It has to be fun to move around, and I don't know the challenge of making Sonic fun to run around in an open world game.
Oh, the
Other than
challenge.
very flat lands and running in a straight line. I don't know.
Yeah,
How do you
no,
do
and
it?
That requires a lot of. I feel like study. Like I don't know what you have to study, but like you have to. A lot of trial and error.
If you want Sonic to be interesting in the open world, the character based on speed, you need a momentum system. It's not just because momentum works for Sonic in the old games, it's because a character based on speed, you have hills, it's an open world space based on free movement and running, momentum.
Yeah,
It's like
you have to
like
earn your
right
speed,
there.
otherwise than just going fast right out the gate and boosting. Like maybe there's boost pads in certain places, but you can't
Because then-
get to them without going
because
fast
then-
already.
Because then you intrinsically link your movement to the open world itself. Because
Yeah.
you need to rely on it. Because you need to...
So maybe he's a little bit faster than Boom Sonic when he runs around, but he's not
But-
fast enough to get places in any interesting amount of.
But Sega is too afraid to put anything that's skill based in their games, so they'll just boost to you can boost and you'll go as fast as possible. Then it will be boring.
It's like there's no point to the terrain. It's like-
Yeah, right. So
No.
if they make the terrain like kind of hilly and little challenge things all over the place, and it's fun to run around it and just like just do stupid tricks and whatever. See how high you can run up a hill or run up a.
Yeah,
How
like,
fast
I
you run
want
up
an
a
in-depth
mountain.
physics system that makes me think to myself, not just I want to get from this point to this point. I want to get to this point by going as fast as possible, leaping off of a hill and getting like 5 minutes
Like
of air
sick
time.
air time. Yeah. Just like
Yeah.
flying around the map, but you earned
Right,
all of
and
it.
maybe you can't even do that at first, but if you play the game, you're upgrading. Sonic just runs faster and faster.
Rate of speed,
Sure.
like, it gets faster and faster the more you complete.
Like,
Sonic
yeah,
is
you like
skill.
you upgrade your shoes or something stupid.
Hey, buy shoes from or upgrade them somehow. Yeah, sure,
Oh
definitely.
my god, they implemented
Why would
Sonic
you-
upgrade system.
If you could upgrade your speed with just shoes, why aren't you doing that already, Sonic?
No, they
I'm
could-
fast
they-
enough.
They could implement a Sonic 06 system. So imagine like the slow gem thing from Sonic 06,
Mhm.
but imagine it like you're running at like top speed. So imagine if you get to a point later on in the game where you run like super fast, and it can be hard to like make sharp turns or like navigate through like forests or something like that. And you want to make a sharp turn towards something, you can use like a gem or an object to slow down time for maybe like 2 or 3 seconds. And Sonic runs at like a slower speed, or like the environment slows around him, and like Sonic slows down, so you can make like a sharper turn and maintain your speed, and then you go right back into it. That could be cool. Like,
Could be.
I'm
Awesome.
thinking like,
Let's see here what people are saying. Clearly, this is where your understanding based on your previous physics coming in, and I'm listening, trying to visualize what the heck you're describing, and I can understand. Oh, well, thanks you people. I can show you the trailer and the video that I'm making, so it will actually make sense. Also, you've been streaming an hour now, and you have progressed pretty far in the model. Kudos. Oh, thank you. I feel like I'm going a little bit slow, but, you know, slow and steady, right? Don't want this to look bad. I want to make sure that Millie looks as good as she possibly can. Or just add drift to make a sharper turn, says McQuibby, to, I guess, in response to you.
The thing about the drift for me is that in the boost games, at the very least, where the drift is, I feel like the one from Unleash is too loose, and the one from Generations is too tight. At least for its level design. Like, it feels like the Generations one will allow you to make, like, practically 90-degree sharp turns, but none of the level design in the game feels like it's built around turns that are as sharp as what the drift allows you to do. It feels like all the, like, turns in the game are, like, just a little too wide for that drift to really be as sharp as it is. And the one from Unleash is just too loose. I'm thinking like
Sonic gets a grappling hook so he can make sharp turns around like edges.
Oh my god! You know the
thing from Sonic Boom.
No, that makes me think of the Tim Burton Batman movie where he's like running away from the cops in the Batmobile and attaches like a hook to the side of a wall so he can turn into a sharp like road.
What kind of wall was that? I guess a super adamantium wall that can hold a car's weight and inertia as it goes around a corner. I feel like I've seen the Tim Burton Bat. I've seen a couple of them. I don't know if I've seen all of them. I know that's something brought back.
Batman knows the structural strength of every wall.
Oh yes, he just knows.
So he has the
building plans.
The building plans and little markers of where he can use this turning technology.
I love it.
He has it all memorized.
Pulls out his bat credit card.
A bat credit. I need to have the. Never leave the game without it. I'm George Clooney. Am I a good cast for this? Doesn't matter. I'm George Clooney. Was it a good idea to cast George Clooney as Batman? Don't worry about it. He's having fun, maybe.
Oh man, I'm thinking.
It was a fun movie. Glad it was made.
Enjoyed it. Yeah. I'm not hating on it.
What type of movement? This is like going into sort of like a dream reality, but for like an open world Sonic.
I'll be right back.
All right, cool. See you.
What type of movement would you want?
What kind of movement would I want?
What type of things in your mind, and in a world where like you would imagine what you would want to be possible in an open world Sonic space? What type of abilities or actions would you like to perform in an open world space, or like you'd like to have the ability to do in a game like that, where you're freely able to control Sonic in an open environment?
That's a good question. I guess if there was to be boosted, it would have to be limited. But like maybe that would allow Sonic to do certain things. Like maybe they could reintroduce your wall running thing. I don't know if I.
Lost World, because that could have worked.
Yeah, if there was like enough space to do it, and it wasn't like so darn, I guess, punishing every time you failed.
And like, despite being a parkour, and despite being like a system built on parkour, it like halts all your momentum in that game.
Yeah, but you keep it. You keep your momentum, and of course, if you're running up a wall, you run out of momentum because you're fighting against gravity, and Sonic slowly slows down. But if you wall run and you hit it at the right angle, and you come down, you're gonna be moving fast still.
So it's like you could run into a wall at like a 90-degree angle and run straight up it, but you'll slow down. But instead, like say you're like running and there are like two walls like parallel to you, you can like run up the side of that wall, go like upwards at an angle, and then hit the wall you were going to run straight up so you could keep your speed.
Yeah, so like, of course, like I was gonna say like, oh, maybe you can run around like a not an inverted, but like a loop on its side, but then Sonic's regular speed should be able to handle that. But I don't know. Maybe there's like a way to sort of not drift, but I don't know, play angles. So like if Sonic is running out around in a circle or something like that, or if you turn like really sharply at your current speed, you can come out of your turn because faster. I don't know.
In my mind, like, if you're playing as a character like Sonic, who's like a living creature that's able to run and zip around really fast, you shouldn't even really need a drift. You should just be able to turn, right? Like, just be... Like, I'm thinking, what's it? When it comes to, I remember randomly finding this video in my recommended from like months ago when the game was first revealed in like December, a Tales channel video, and the guy was like, what's it? Describing like a potential of what the game could be to explain away like the barren wasteland of a world. And it's like, well, what if, like, you know, the based on the story and the leaks, like, we have ghost girls that may or may not be like Sonic's friends, and like, you know, this entire open world seems like eerily barren except for like these apparent like ghosts, and apparently there's like a leak script where like Eggman used like an AI and everything went awry and everything disappeared. So, like, what if the inhabitants are all ghosts that are trapped in this cyberspace, including Sonic's friends, and your job is to stop the AI by defeating, like, these colossal enemies in this open zone experience across each island, like, there's one per island, and you defeat one of these, like, Titan enemies that are prominent in the marketing, and then once you defeat that Titan through completing whatever tasks you need to, like all of the inhabitants, including one of Sonic's friends for each island, are freed, and then the world itself, because of whatever effects the AI might have on the land itself, shifts and changes. Think of something like Mario Odyssey, where like the level alters, and then it becomes like more Sonic-y with like loops and like corkscrews and all this other crazy stuff, and like more challenges are unlocked for that island, and then you move on to the next one, and then you complete the next like set of challenges in that open space, and that's like the gameplay.
Not for nothing, that reminds me a little bit of Sonic Generations. As you go around going through levels and that kind of stuff, you reveal more of the world and can go places. Obviously, you can go pretty much everywhere. Started that game. But it reminds you a little bit of that because, like, you know, you free Sonic's friends and they can talk to you, and then you can see them inside of, like, the levels and stuff. Right. Obviously, you're talking about, like, you know, bringing things back, almost in a way, I want to say, in a weird sense, like Mario Sunshine with the cleaning up the ink crap and then things to sort of grow back out of it.
Yeah, it's like you're renovating the world and bringing it back to life.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's not a bad concept. I mean, I'm going to leave my speculation. I just want to experience the game when it comes out. I know that's boring and whatnot, but I want to just sort of like, I don't want to get my hopes up for what the story's going to be, like what it could be. Like you said, the potential thing. Like, I just want to let it sort of wash over me and be what it is and be like, okay, well, I hope it's good. And I'm sure I can still talk about it and theorize. Let me not, what's the word I'm looking for? Stifle all conversation about it because I don't want to, be potentially spoiled. You couldn't possibly do that. You don't know how the game's going to come out.
You know, it's like, that's the thing when I hear people, like, theorize about, like, you know, movies or games or something. It's like, spoiler warning, it's like there's nothing to spoil. It's just like
if you happen to be right, that's amazing. But it's not a spoiler because you just guessed. Like, you're not telling me anything. Like, potential spoilers, I don't go in for that because it's like, no. You had about as much knowledge as I did, and you were right. I will be like, oh, you were right. That's nice. I won't feel cheated though because you didn't.
It's not like you're reading the script to a film.
Yeah, it's not like you're like, all right, guys, potential spoiler warning, but I do have an advanced script. Like, that's not potential. That is. Well, they might have changed a couple of words. You know, this is the first draft. Like, yeah, but you know, don't do that. That's not okay.
The film itself might use a revised version.
Yeah, I don't know if that doesn't count, Chief. But other than that, no, it's fine. But yeah, like, so what the game could be, it could be, yeah, you're bringing the world back, and then what? There's more challenges that you can go and try after they've been brought up.
Generally, like, environmentalist, like, kind of origins and its roots. It would kind of fit with that.
Sure, I'm thinking like it would be something like if you did that though, there'd have to be a reason for it. You know, you could go back and play those areas now because you brought the loops in. Of course, I guess if they're just being brought in for aesthetic purposes, I'd hate that actually. I'd be like, well, okay, you've added a loop here, but this place is still not fun to run through.
all these friggin' loops, they better be used for like some form of like challenge or something.
Or traversal, or getting to someplace higher up, another challenge, another level. I'm still with my little weird personal theory that, you know,
I don't think it is.
I think it's just those things are markers. You might have advanced beyond my knowledge, but I'm just looking at it like that doesn't look like the picture that they released, which is like not a new picture. It seems to be like from the trailer, just a different, like just a little further over to the left, whatever.
Yeah, no. They keep showing me, and I'm convinced that area that we keep seeing in that single render is like the opening section of the entire game.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely, and that would be a strategically a good move for them anyway, just because, you know, you don't want to show all your best stuff. You know, you want to kind of keep that.
I start to get traumatic flashbacks to like thinking this area is the very start of the game, and then you think back to Sonic Forces.
Oh, did that? Oh, right. I guess you're talking about when they were showing off Sunset Heights.
Yeah.
It most certainly isn't. Maybe it was gonna be, and then they changed their minds. You ever imagine that they had like earlier versions of the story and like level layout? Because you play the game as it is, like they've got some interesting ideas on geography in that game.
Sunset Heights would be such a good opening level.
What do you think the combat mechanics that have been teased for Frontiers? I have not actually seen anything about the combat mechanics. Do you know what this is?
Heavy rumors going around that there's going to be like a combat system that has like a skill tree, and Sonic unlocks new abilities in his experience.
I mean, that's certainly a gaming trend, but does it work for Sonic? I guess is the only question I would have.
Because then
what does Sonic do?
I hear the word experience points, and I think, am I going
Unleashed?
to have to grind in a Sonic game?
Unleashed had the experience points for the Werehog, right? You could, and of course you got them for running fast and that kind of stuff. And it fit because, you know, Werehog had actual combos and stuff, but Sonic is Sonic, unless they give him new abilities, which is fine. But then that means that we're looking at a game that moves slower. It's not about running fast, which is fine, because if you're gonna have an open world Sonic game, it shouldn't be him going that fast.
Unless it is in this game world, it's just like the biggest freaking thing in the universe, and it's so expansive and intricately detailed, to where you're gonna need to use so many different abilities at once in tandem while moving fast.
I mean, I feel like that's asking too much from any developer, let alone Sega. Like, I don't think they're gonna be doing all that. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, maybe, okay, so this is new knowledge for me. I wasn't aware of this. So, oops, control, grab, shift.
I'm just like, and that's the thing, right? The taxing on the developers and like the console thing, because you think of like games, right? The PS5 could probably run like a game like Sonic Frontiers, no problem. Depending on whatever it ends up being, like just the idea of an open world, fast-paced Sonic game that would run on the PS5. It could have run on any like modern PC. But the game is being developed for the PS4 and the Xbox One, so it makes me think like a game like Spider-Man on the PS4. Not only did the character need to be speed capped so that the game could still load in assets, but I doubt Spider-Man is going to be as fast as Sonic the Hedgehog in an open world space. So
He shouldn't be,
think,
arguably.
Run?
That's interesting. I mean, obviously, from a visual standpoint and like asset standpoint, there's nothing I've seen from the trailers that, you know, a base PlayStation 4 couldn't do. Like that's,
yeah, no.
At least Switch probably can handle that. It doesn't look particularly amazing. Like there are shortcuts that can be made to make things look pretty and then have like, you know, a nice game. Obviously, probably not a Switch. Switch can barely handle Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is completely stylized and doesn't have any realistic looking nothing, which is fine. Though looking at, you're talking about speed cap. Yeah, I can see what you're talking about. There might be like ways around it where they have like certain constrained areas where you can only go but so fast, and then you really can't open it up until you're in like a adventure stage. Or they'll do the kind of culling that they do in regular Sonic levels, but they'll have to do it in a smart way where Sonic can't traverse everywhere. Like he can't get past this mountain because that's a loading area.
You're gonna need to be surrounded by walls.
Yeah, big old. Because yeah, Sonic regular games like Generations and every new game, Forces and whatnot, they all rely on level culling. Or as you go through the level, they turn things off. They're linear. You can't really see what's behind you.
Sonic is moving so fast. It's kind of honestly like Crash Bandicoot back when that game was new, where it's like the console or whatever game you're playing can't like render all this stuff at once, and your character would be moving so fast. Not necessarily in Crash's case, but like with Sonic, where like we need to be able to load in this stuff and not have everything pop in. So like, let's like make this level a very linear experience, very controlled, so we could like block out like areas of the level that are loading with other geometry that is currently in the player's focus.
Yeah, that's a video game staple. They did that in God of War, the most recent one. And you'll notice that those times where you're standing around talking to Mimir, they're loading in a level. They're loading in something for you to go and interact with, because that game was, of course, very dense, very, very pretty looking. So they needed to make sure you were distracted. I find it funny, though, the PC version of the game on a high-end enough PC, like, the level will have loaded already, but, like, you know, the cutscene is now the only thing slowing you down.
Yeah, right.
But the...
You know, honestly, after seeing the God of War, like, PC port, I think to myself, that runs 60 FPS at a higher resolution. Can I get a PS5 port, please? Can I get a PS5?
They're like, we put a lot of work and time into that. The PC one, all right? You just play that, okay? Jeez, just buy a high-end PC.
Actually, wasn't there like an update? I remember there being like a YouTube commercial, like spouting about how God of War had some improvements on PS5.
All right, I'm back.
Wasn't aware. Well, they probably
Load times.
probably would have to be. Hey, welcome back. All right, so we're gonna do the ear
I
dip
like
now.
I would have liked the 60 FPS boost though. Like if you play the game on PS5, you can get like a 60 FPS boost.
Yeah, that would have been very nice. Let's see what. Nope, not gonna say anything. But yeah,
But it's like, yeah, no, it's like the type of thing where it's like, how is Sonic gonna work in an open world? Because like you think about putting a speed cap, because like a character like
Still
Spider-Man,
talking about that. All right.
of course we are.
you're gonna move really fast in a game like Spider-Man on the PS4. Because again, I'm thinking about it like, you know, I mean, sure, we have the PS5 and the Series X and like the PC port or whatever it is, but like these games are primarily, seemingly, getting made for the Xbox One and the PS4. So it makes me think like, how is that gonna work on a console like that? Like, because especially again, looking to Spider-Man, like the PS4 version, where they needed to put a speed cap on Spider-Man because, you know, you're going to be moving so fast through this detailed environment. Not saying it's like Sonic Frontiers like that high fidelity, because it's not. But it's like that kind of thing where it's like, you had to put a speed cap on this character so you could load in stuff and not have the game destroy itself.
Yeah, they're gonna just turn on an LOD thing, and like everything's just gonna get like turned into PNGs and bitmaps as you travel through it. It'll just be like
well, isn't
really
that
ugly.
what the Hedgehog 2 engine was designed for
I have
dealing with?
No idea what it's designed for dealing with. So, if you could explain to me the Hedgehog 2 engine, because I don't know. Maybe you know more about this topic than I do. You probably do. I have no idea. Explain to me the Hedgehog.
Played it.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we're all honest here. No one's gonna lie.
Oh man, man,
Ah.
Hey, developer.
man, I've
Fair
loved
enough.
Rocket today. Explain the design process of your
Yeah,
character.
you are a developer. Oh shit. You're not. What are you talking about? Yes, you are.
That's not my part of the. That's not my part of the job, though. I focus on all the character designs,
I work on the arts and the what's it.
the
Yeah,
arts
when
and
you talk
whatnot.
about and then when you talk to him about the art, it's like, what was your design process when designing this character?
Oh.
I don't know.
He really did say that earlier. I don't know.
Yes.
What's your job here? I don't know.
Has an undefined. No one has told me.
Director of Undefined.
In constant
I like
flux.
the idea. I like the idea that the Hedgehog Engine 2 is just a lighting engine that they took 3 years to make.
Look, man, lighting is hard, and you got to make sure that it. I don't know. Like, I'm making
That
things
was
up
one of the
now.
I mean, that was one of the big points of the first Hedgehog engine, I think, was to get like that global illumination in there and make everything look really nice.
You don't even need to do a lighting engine anore. You just
Like they
let's
don't.
put ray
Just-
tracing sources all over the place, and then we'll get it.
Like they could just use someone else's lighting engine. I don't know why they had to use it to build their own. Was there a reason for that? These things are like not exactly usable out of the box, but like
Maybe it's a
Gonna
pride
just-
thing.
maybe. Like, we're gonna make our own.
Uh,
Uh-oh, that's not great.
everyone using Unreal always looks the same, so they use something different.
I'm thinking.
But it looks like Unreal. No, it doesn't. It's not true. I don't.
They made something that just looks like Unreal anyway.
Yeah, it's like what was the point?
It's like
They're
Sonic
just
doesn't
using a Frostbite engine.
Sonic Frontiers doesn't look like Unreal. It looks like Breath of the Wild, but like a not as interesting looking version of it.
Well, that's because
Not
Breath
as
of the
good
Wild
version of Breath of the Wild.
wasn't trying to look. Well, that's interesting. I don't actually.
I mean, you look at the architecture and stuff like that. I mean, obviously it's different, but it looks like sort of like a legally distinct like ripoff.
And they're gonna give Sonic the Miles Electric, so he's
X.
gonna have a tablet, everything.
My
the same.
God.
It's gonna be called Sonic Exhalation of the Outdoors.
Exhalation,
Exhalation, yeah.
respiration,
Respiration of the outdoors, or breath,
Yeah.
as in whiff
Furry.
of the wild. Breath of the outside. The breath, like broad, the wideness of the wild.
Oh,
The outdoors.
I'm playing a Battlefield 5. I ran up on a tank. Thought I had an anti-tank grenade, and I did.
But well, it happens to all of us.
I threw an incendiary, and that doesn't do shit to tanks.
You mean you can't just melt it now?
I'm thinking of titles now, like Sonic Frontiers. And it makes you think, like, okay, Sonic Frontiers for like an open world game like this, that makes sense. What the hell would Rangers have meant?
Maybe there would have been some people who were the Sonic Rangers. Or he was a ranger. Sonic is a ranger.
Sonic's a park ranger?
Park Ranger
He's
Sonic.
17.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
He's Android 17.
Oh, well, I guess those are Rangers. I don't know enough about Dragon Ball to keep up with your references. I'm a loser. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm thinking like, what is it? Sonic's friend. So, okay. So the theory is that we are getting like 4, I think, like islands somewhere around there. So in my mind, Sonic's friends: Amy, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow. That's it.
Shadow! I guess so, because who else is Sonic's friend besides those other Amy, Tails, Knuckles? Yeah, I guess that's his only other friend.
And Shadow's popular.
Shadow's popular. Yeah, I really can't. It wouldn't be Rouge. No one cares about her.
None of the Chaotix. Not
No.
Cream.
Yeah, who cares about the Chaotix? SBO. Yeah, I guess those would be the ones, because they're the ones who show up in like all of the games. I guess even Boom had Shadow.
Sonic's friends that he rescues: Amy, Tails, Knuckles, XP.
SBO. Like, what about my friend Vector? Who needs him?
Army, who gives a fuck?
Charmy, why am I connected to the beat? Let's see here. Where's my, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna turn on Subdivide and see how this looks smoothed.
It's all of Sonic's best friends: Tails, Amy, Knuckles, Vanilla.
Vanilla, hey, in her first 3D video game debut. She hasn't been in anything since, Sonic Advance 2. Or Sonic Advance 1? I don't know. Rush.
Right.
What? Wait, Vanilla was in Sonic Rush?
Vanilla had like a pre-rendered model for like her text boxes in the game's cutscenes.
I wasn't aware that she was even in that game. But of course, I haven't played that game, so that's why I'm a fake fan. Okay. Where's the thing? Dang darn it.
Unless they really go hardball Rotolis and go like Sonic friend, Amy, Tails, Knuckles, Sally Acorn. There we go.
Yeah, another game that people would just be like confused by. They'd be like, "Whoa, who's this?" And like, well, you see, she's gonna be in the movie later. Oops.
And then Ian Flynn's like, "You're welcome."
And I would actually have to say thank you, because I know this man been trying not to have her in the comics or nothing like that. So it's like, hey, look it out, you horrible bastard genius. I love you. Let's see. Anyone saying anything in the chat? No? Okay.
Thinking, what's it? I'm thinking like, what if every time, like, Sega just pulled a Sega and like spent their time splitting their resources between stuff they didn't need, and made it so that every time you free one of Sonic's friends, you get to play as them.
Well, that would make some people happy because they wanted to play as Sonic's friends for a while.
But then at that point, that's gonna like really potentially stifle the level design.
It would, because then you'd have to make it work for different characters with different playstyles. Unless you did a Heroes, and everyone plays the same, so Sonic is not special or fast like he's supposed to be. He's like, oh yeah, he's...
That's the best kind of playable character, and I'm not even kidding. For a game like this, it's probably what you need to do.
It's the only thing that would work, because, like, you know, we could have a specialized design for all of them, in which case we can stretch ourselves thin and really not get everything right, because we're worried about trying to make this game playable as a gigantic cat that doesn't have any particular abilities other than fishing. We gotta make sure that every level has a fishing spot, and some way we can shoehorn some gameplay in. I think it was a good idea, and probably should have stayed on paper. They should have tried to do it.
It's one of those things where it's like you see all Sonic friends, right? And then like in a linear controlled environment where maybe each character could have their own level, that's fine. You're making an open world game. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Oh. Don't tell me how it'll work. Just tell me how much I have to pay. Presumably the director of the game.
I let my dreams die? No.
I'll sacrifice 1,000 hours of gameplay before I let anyone. Yeah, so.
I'll sacrifice 1,000 hours of gameplay before I let these characters die.
Well, see, currently they're not in anything because they've made game characters that they don't know what to do with anymore, and that is the unfortunate thing that happened.
That's the thing, right? Every Sonic game needed to have a new character or 5.
It's like, no, I guess it didn't, but they just wanted that. I guess to kind of bring in new players, or everyone was coming. I don't know what the marketing strategy was behind that. Like what the idea was, like why it was executed in that manner.
I mean, I feel like part of the reason why early 3D Sonic is like as weird as it is, and probably as like fluctuating in quality as it was, is because like every game, you start off the first 3D Sonic game by being like, we're gonna have 6 characters, and then you go Sonic Adventure 2, we're still gonna have 6 characters, and then you go Sonic Heroes, let's have 12 characters, and then you go to Sonic 06, let's have 16 different gameplay styles.
I see. They were trying to one up themselves, and it caught up to them. It was an unsustainable strategy. Like, instead of, like, you know, figuring out how to make these characters that we've already introduced more fun to play, we're just adding more characters to it.
No, because, you know, you think of Sonic 06, right? You have Sonic, Shadow, and Silver, okay. But then you have Tails, Knuckles, Rouge, Omega, Amy, Blaze, all of Sonic's Mach Speed sections. The, the Shadow, Buggy.
The glider? Yeah. Yeah, they really wanted to... Look, this was the 15th year anniversary. They wanted to hit the HD consoles with a bang, and they did, but it wasn't a good bang. It was kind of like a bust. But they definitely can't be accused of not trying. They just didn't give themselves enough time to do anything. So, you know, once again, like I said, the enemy of every Sonic the Hedgehog game is time. The development cycle.
Originally there was even going to be a playable Metal Sonic, but they had to scrap it.
They scrapped him entirely. He's not even in the game.
Like, and again, they even still had to, like, again, that's not even it, too. They had to program a playable Super Sonic, Super Shadow, Super Silver.
To be fair, those were relatively similar to each other, because they just sort of strafed back and forth and had, like, limited effects.
But then there's also the Elise segments. Even though it's similar to regular gameplay, you still have to implement a new gameplay mechanic.
Wait, you had to play Elise? I forgot already. I've played this game.
Elise, but you had like the Elise carrying.
Oh, I had to carry her. Yeah, it's regular gameplay, except now you have to make it so that pressing a button keeps you from falling through this quicksand. And then, of course,
level
was janky. Hated that strongly. Strongly disliked.
And by quicksand, we mean like in opaque floor.
Just dirt. Yeah, basically, it's like a false floor. It's just the ground. It shifts around. I think the texture's moved, if I'm not mistaken, or remembering correctly.
It's one of those things where it's like, you know, it would make more sense if the sand, like the reason you had to walk on it was because it was like burning hot.
Yeah.
And it hurt you.
I mean, you can do that. They've done it before in Sonic 3, where you had the quicksands. Didn't they? No, wait, No, those were just quicksand waterfalls. You didn't die in it.
Sonic 3, yeah, no, but Sonic 3 did have quicksand. No, sometimes you died.
Right. if it went into a like off the screen. You had to good luck figuring out which one was which, I guess. But
Donkey Kong.
That's how you get one of the secret rings too. It's awful.
Really? All right, let's see here. Got the ears here. That's not looking so bad.
And
It's
apparently,
not
like,
perfect.
these cyberspace levels are supposed to be, like, Generations styled, apparently based on the leaks. So it makes me think, like, okay, so we have two very different gameplay styles, but, like, it makes me think, how much of this focus is going to be on the open world, and how, like, grand that's going to be, and how much of this is going to be focused on, like, quality boost levels. Are these just going to be, like, 50-second spurts of special stages? Is that what they're going to be?
Interesting. Hero.
And especially if they're turning, like, the boost levels into special stages, presumably, like, hopefully they're difficult.
We'll see about that one. All right, so this is just like a part of her head. Just sort of comes, sort of pops out. So that's gonna be a tone for sure.
I think of Sonic,
Probably should have
Sonic
done this before
Frontiers.
their ears.
and I think, like, so hear me out. There's gonna be experience points, and there's gonna be unlockable upgrades, and there's skill trees.
Unbelievable.
So hear me out. Microtransactions for cosmetics and upgrades.
I can see that.
I hope everybody's having a great time. This next
With every
song
copy of
is
Sonic
for
Frontiers that's sold, you get a free Sonic NFT.
Light
And
Valued at 10 cents.
is the point of NFTs to make money on it?
I don't. I mean, yes, maybe. Yes, I know that that's true. Yes, they are meant to make money. But I don't understand exactly how.
It feels like you're basically buying a random thing to increase its value and then sell to somebody else at a higher price.
I thought this was built on the whole. I guess it's not exactly the same as other cryptocurrency type things. Its value comes from its rarity.
I barely know.
Gonna read up on some NFTs before I make any statements about NFTs. I know they've been around for a while, but it's just like,
I mean, like, in concept, they're stupid because it's like, everyone talks about the right click thing, but it's absolutely true. Like, what are you selling? An image?
Hyperlink.
selling me a hyperlink. Hyperlinks used to be. I'll tell you what, a hyperlink used to be quite a valuable commodity back when I was a younger man.
In the elder days of the interweb.
In the early days, the hypertext transport protocol was the bee's knees, I tell you. It was all the rage. I mean, we were using file transport protocol.
I cannot wait till, like, I'm 50 years old and talking to some teenager, and they're like, back in my day, we had YouTube. It's like, YouTube? You're old. Like, YouTube?
Oh, you mean my my language learning app? YouTube? All right. Okay. Oh, wait, that's still connected? How? I thought I just undid. Oh, did I just... I know what I did. I just...
Dude, it's like, dude, YouTube ended in, like... Or it's like, dude, Twitter ended in, like, 2045 after it got bought by Facebook.
Right, now everybody watches NFTs.
The NFT channel. Welcome to the NFT network.
Now you gotta
TV.
stand your kid in front of the NFT channel and let them do that while you go off and do stuff for yourself.
Dude, they would call it NFTV.
Right? Non-fungible television. Okay.
Non-fungible television.
Television that's
Hi,
completely
I'm Selena Gomez.
utterly unique to you.
It's basically your dreams. And pump them into your head.
I'm Brie Larson, and you're watching NFTV.
And
Dude.
with the little Mickey Mouse ears with his
It's like the NFT
NFT monkey.
monkey.
Nobody likes it, but they keep pushing it.
Yeah, their logo would be the ape.
Don't watch it. Oh, I just disconnected that. Oopsie doodles. That's my bad. Sonic boom, Sonic boom.
I'm Troy Baker, and you're watching NFTV.
It
Hi,
sounds
I'm
like
Troy
a
Baker,
great
and you're watching Kingdom Hearts.
comic None of us could make. NFTV.
Center.
Yeah, of the dude being like, I'm Troy Baker, and you're watching NFTV, but like, the voice that's coming out isn't actually Troy Baker, it's an NFT of his voice.
Well, it's. I guess you're making like a deep fake. It's just like because they just bought his likeness. He doesn't even do TV or movies or video game music. Not music. He's a voice actor, but he doesn't do that anymore. They just own his likeness. He's tried to sue several times,
No,
but he can't get it back.
Troy Baker recently, if you don't remember, like
I
sold
remember.
her, like he sold an NFT of his voice.
Oh, I was not aware of that. That's
He's getting,
interesting.
you know, Troy Baker was getting involved in voice acting NFTs, like voice NFTs, whatever that means.
I guess. Well, that's sold. I guess his voice is unique to him. To an extent, obviously, you can pretend to be Troy Baker, but it won't be Troy Baker.
Dad, what are you doing on Twitter? Don't you know everybody's going out of the metaverse? Like it's...
Stay off the metaverse. I remember when they used to be called Facebook. They can't trick me.
Dad, you're ancient.
Facebook into the metaverse.
Center. It's center. That's
You know,
what I
I
want.
remember back in the day when we
What
used
in
to
the
play
world did I-
Farmville on that.
How in the world did this get disconnected? But then it's okay. All right.
What's
Sorry.
it? Dad, what are you doing playing the PS5? Don't you know Sony got bought by Microsoft?
I like to pretend that didn't happen.
It seems like everybody trying to, a company trying to force everybody to go to this next generation of just everyone's the VR, the VR social stuff. It seems
that's
like
the thing,
artificial and actually like really weird and kind of evil. But if
Yeah.
it happens from from a company that's just like, hey, this is our cool VR chat, and then it
It's
catches
so
on,
weird,
becomes
like,
huge, that's like cool and normal.
Yeah, no,
And it
Facebook
feels
is
more
so
like
fucking
organic.
evil. And when you
Yeah.
think of metaverse, it feels like the metaverse literally feels like an evil plot of like some dark fantasy or like
Yeah, it's like this is some
Ready Player One. Wasn't this some
yeah, this is like
This is the
the beginning of like some evil sci-fi movie, man.
it's the origin story.
Yeah, when
to
metaverse
mention-
takes over your brains.
Not to mention, Metaverse has been in like a lot of other fiction, and it's like usually not a great thing.
It's never good.
Like yeah, Snow Crash and other
No crack.
books and that kind of stuff.
Was it actually called Metaverse?
It
Oh,
was
man.
called that. It was called Metaverse in Snow Crash. Yes, I'm actually reading it.
I
Wanted to check it out because I like
of being
some
able
books
to
like
like.
that.
That's amazing.
I just don't like the idea of being able to shop, like physically do like chores and groceries and job interviews by putting on a VR headset and going into a virtual space. That feels nasty in my mind.
Well, man, you can just not do it. I suppose right now it's still an option, and I think while you have the ability to just not associate with things that you don't like technologically, you should in fact do that. How is this? How did
Well,
this
that's
happen?
gonna make like people who. That's gonna make people who impersonate other people a really big problem. If that's the case.
Oh, you're talking about deepfakes? Is that what you're talking about, or something else?
No, I'm talking about like people impersonating other people, like identity theft.
Oh, yeah. Already a problem. Now it's going to be even more difficult to deal with. There we go. Though I suppose the idea of the NFT is supposed to be somewhat secure. It's like, I own this. I've got it on the blockchain, but anyone could probably steal it and have access to that information. Like, what they could do with it, probably for identity theft purposes.
You own the rights to like the property in the subject matter of the image. It's so you're owning the file. Like what?
Man, hackers are gonna be fucking rule the fucking world. And then all that sci-fi shit where hackers are super powerful is totally
Yeah,
happening.
and
Like the
and
movie
it's
Hackers.
It's funny to think of like a world that like monsterful and then you think like the solution is just stop wearing your VR headset.
Or in my case, don't buy one.
Got business in their VR headset. Everybody does it.
If everyone's doing it, it's gonna be very hard not to. So I guess you just need to not do it.
You want to come over? No, let's just VR this shit. It's like the norm. No one comes over. Does any of that shit.
Yeah, like I'm not at your house right now. You're not at mine. We're still talking, and we're not on the phone. You know.
You know, we can't, man. COVID got worse. No one can go anywhere.
Also, I don't want to travel as far as I have to go to get to your house.
All the time. Well, everywhere, no matter what.
It's like one of those things where it feels like technology is evolving in such an antisocial way for a species that is primed on social interactivity.
21. That's too many. I don't like that many points, but I can make it work. I think.
It
look kind of
feels like
janky.
evolving. Like the thing that sucks is like we're not evolving per se. Like more so the evolution of technology is more so like it becoming like a form of antithesis to like our very like primal nature as human beings, creating a more antisocial environment for a species that's us that is more socially inclined in nature. And we thrive and prime and need like social interactivity, while we are creating lifestyles that, you know, thrive on the exact opposite of what we are instinctually.
Excellent. To the heat I find.
Hey, we got a VR thing. Try it.
As my great grandchildren get sucked into the void, the realm of VR, and their brains are completely eradicated and hacked by like some sort of by some form of anonymous like deep web group faction. I'm just gonna like chill and just go outside.
Got the outside to myself. No one goes outside no more. Can't hang out with Pappy.
No, and then it creates like two factions of humanity: those that go outside and those that exist in the digital world.
Like Time Machine, except not exactly like Time Machine. A little bit different.
It's if we all don't die in nuclear war from Russia.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to avoid that.
I remember seeing a tweet that's like, Putin's planning something much worse than war, and the caption was just, he tries stand-up comedy.
Oh, that's certainly more, that might be more paddle. I don't know. Oh.
I mean, we got through World War III back in 2020, so.
Yes. Sure. That was it.
Hey y'all! Hey y'all!
Walk from the heat of day of the night.
Until the finest one!
There you go. In a rage, I'll save.
Each and every one!
Yeah!
I'd love to try to hear Jason Griffith Sonic sing like a Crush 40 song.
I'm sure he's done it in the bathroom on his own time, but they would never let him record it. It would be too powerful. The cable out the man, my kingdom. I'm the knight of the wind.
Yeah, because every single freaking Jason Griffith word or sentence needs to end with the same.
With a kind of up inflection. Yeah, definitely. Why are you like this? What? What do you mean? This is who I am. That's my line. I know, we're the same guy. Okay.
I love going back to like Sonic X Shadow, and he just sounds so bad.
You mean you don't absolutely love the... I forget what he sounds like. I'm gonna watch the show again.
He's literally just Sonic, but like edgy. He's like Sonic's edgy, like middle school phase.
Oh, all right. We're gonna give this thing about few more minutes. Sorry, I'm just thinking about.
It's Millie, the girl.
She's not the girl. She's the coyote. All of which are girls, except for their dad, I guess.
Where's the mother?
She's hanging out somewhere. I don't know why
Wait,
you
wait,
implying that she's
wait,
dead.
wait.
She's not.
I
No,
think I
wait, no.
implied she's dead.
I know you did.
No,
I'm like, no.
I caught your sentence where it's like, no.
Pretty sure I
caught your sentence
implied she was
where
dead.
It's like, oh, it's like all of them are girls except for the dad, I guess. Where's the mother? He's hanging around somewhere. What?
What?
No, that's
No.
not what I said, but sure.
No,
So this needs to be made smaller. This is too big. Scale this one.
Time to shrink this girl's head.
Her head is just large enough. I'm gonna have to do some editing.
I'm randomly thinking about the fact that like the past two actors to play Spider-Man in movies were British, and it makes me think, what would happen if we got like an actual New Yorker to play Spider-Man? I fear that, because I'd imagine like you go into a scene and like Spider-Man's like a villain or something, and he's like, "Hey yo, what are you doing over here? I'm cool."
The swearing.
Hey man, you gotta do all this stuff. You know, I'm Spider-Man. Great power, great responsibility. Yeah, I think
It's like my Uncle Benny said it, yeah.
I think I'm
Yeah,
Very
I'm,
rarely-
I'm imagining Spider-Man being voiced by the same guy who voices Scout from TF2.
If you were from where I was from, you'd be effing dead.
Got the chicken.
But Miss Paulie. That guy. I have done nothing but transport bread for 48 hours.
That would be Rhino.
Oh, his soldier is Rhino. Alright, fair enough.
Oh man, I'm thinking, is Spy the Chameleon?
What does a chameleon sound like?
He's Russian.
I guess so. Honestly,
The heavy would have to be Rhino.
yeah, he'd have to be Rhino just because of those correlations. And also, isn't Rhino usually portrayed as being Russian, or am I just playing the game once and then thinking that's how the character is portrayed?
Why are so many Spider-Man villains Russian?
Because they were written around the Cold War era, and mostly all of our villains were Russian because of that. That's how
he's
just our pop culture is. It's very, very kind of messed up.
yeah, kinda,
It's the truth.
let's just make all the other factions and races of people villains in our media.
British
Sounds like a good
people.
idea.
I mean,
Mean little Captain America was made to punch Hitler in the
I was
jaw.
gonna say, I don't know, Nazis deserved it. They deserved it.
right, but typically that's who your villains are, right? In Indiana Jones, it's Nazis.
It's like, yeah, it's like, no, the Nazis deserved it, but then it turned from Nazis to villains to Germans.
It's not supposed to be Germans. It's
It's
Nazis,
usually Nazi
right?
Germans, yeah.
It's a group of them that
Specifically,
a group of politics, not people, but politics. that
political
have been
group.
wiped out, obliterated. Right. Mostly. There's still some, obviously, but
yeah, no, they're
mostly.
hanging out.
And it's easy to vilify them because you're not gonna hurt anyone's feelings. You're just gonna be like,
Except for people that you wouldn't want to hang out with anyway.
yeah, hey, right, Nazis.
It's like,
You can,
it's one of those
you
things
can
where
just
it's like,
hate watch these. It's fine.
it's one of those things where it's like, you should never want to hate anybody, but then you go to like Nazis, and then you think like, I think
I don't
it's
really-
pretty easy if not like you.
Like the only benefit to your character is realizing the kind of person I shouldn't be. So
Right. Now we're gonna get canceled for being
for that exact wording.
for being Nazi haters.
I
You
mean,
guys hate
being
Nazis.
canceled by Nazis. Well, but by who's doing the canceling?
So for being Nazi
The
haters.
idea- man, the idea
How
of
dare
somebody
you.
getting canceled, the idea, that's how you know something's real wrong. If somebody gets canceled for being an anti-Nazi.
Yeah, someone gets canceled for being anti-Nazi. That's a
This
I
is
was about
a
to say
bad
that.
thing.
There's a problem.
Why are you defending this?
Look, I just want people.
That they did.
Everybody,
God.
everybody should be expected. Everybody should be accepted. Even people that
Don't accept other people? Yeah, sure.
That absolutely destroy and vilify everyone that's not them.
Okay.
Everybody's opinion is equal around here. They want to kill people, like
Like,
just
look,
for who
man,
they are.
Man, I'll defend people and, say, hey, man, you can improve. But when you're murdering people or want to kill people, I'm like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah. When your regime can lead to a mass brainwashing of your populace that allows them to slowly dehumanize an entire group of entire minority, and kill them in mass.
Okay, maybe we should change the subject before
Probably.
it starts getting out of hand.
So,
I don't know if
moving
it's out of
from-
hand.
We haven't said anything bad yet.
Except for we were going to get canceled by Nazis.
We don't want to get to a point where we could. That's the thing.
Okay,
I'm afraid we're gonna
where
get-
could this have gone?
Diving into the depths of what the Nazis did is my point.
So we're not allowed to talk about the Holocaust here? Is that?
No, but
That's
not
what
we're
I'm
saying.
trying to avoid. We
That's
should
not what we're
talking about
supposed to be
something
doing.
like this.
That's not what we're supposed to be doing. No.
It's just, I don't know what we're doing right now.
This is a Tales Adventure Armada stream where we talk
You know
about
what? We're sitting here
Holocaust.
talking about.
It's historical.
I'm not gonna get it. Gosh. His,
I
his
think-
slide is way smaller than mine. My line would be, okay, I'm not gonna talk about like what happened to Auschwitz or anything. Right? My line would be like right there, and he doesn't know what my line is, so he's like scared or something. There's no way I talk about people being tortured horribly.
Arguably, I would say that it would be a good idea to change subject simply because this is not
Okay,
necessarily the
let's
subject matter of the
just
stream.
drop it now. Let's drop it now. Stop while we still can.
We can whenever, but I don't want this to become like a problem between anybody on the team here. I just want to make sure that we're having a good time and exuding that.
So moving on from Nazis, let's talk about Dr. Eggman, the fascist dictator of the Sonic world.
Well, see, he's fake and no one cares about what he actually thinks. Like there's not I don't know. I had nothing to say, so I guess is why I didn't say anything before.
Sonic
But-
is just an allegory for the Cold War. Sonic is
Okay, so I'm pretty sure you just made that up for the sake
Yep.
of saying it, because
Yep.
I'm sure you can't defend that at all. Just like he's
Well,
maybe Robotnik could be considered a Russian name, but not really.
honestly, when I make the association in my mind, it's just like,
It's flimsy.
the like factory producing, like, hard labor, like Dr. Eggman dictator kind of guy whose color scheme is like red and yellow. And then you have Sonic over here being like, I'm gonna destroy all this stuff. No, I fight for freedom, red, white, and blue.
The Union Jack and jolly old England, and also Russia. That's their flag now. Everybody thought it was. All right, so that's the entirety of that particular piece of music. What else can we play? Did anyone hear any music on the stream, by the way? Because I don't even know if it was loud enough. No? Anyone checking that?
No.
Okay. Robotnik, in Polish, Robotnik worker. Thank you very much. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I'm going to call you Winnig. That part I can read. Also, welcome to the Variable Productivity live stream. I'm working on a character from our video game, Tales Adventure Armada. Her name is Millie.
Cool, you
She
should
sells
check
you
it out.
candy.
Pretty cool.
I mean, we're working on it. We're looking for programmers and people that we need to kind of help us with the development of the game. We've got a lot of concept art, wonderful writing, and all that kind of stuff. It's just we need help. I'm going to be sort of putting out videos, is the plan at least, reaching out and trying to gauge interest and that kind of stuff. I'm going to be doubling my efforts. Been doing some research on my own into programming as well, trying to learn a few things. It's a lot more complicated. I mean, I knew it was going to be complicated, But the degree to which it is complicated is different than what I had expected, I suppose. You never know until you know, I suppose. That's just
Man.
life. But what's up?
Every single time you say like, "Oh, we need help," or like, "We're doing good. We just need programmers. We need assistant," and like in the back of my mind, I just imagine Brotalus like slowly losing his grip on sanity. Every single time he does it, it gets like slightly and slightly worse. I know it's not, but it's like the cartoonish version of you I have stored away somewhere in the back of my mind.
It's interesting that you've created a cartoon version of me in your head. Probably looks like Roto, so whatever. I guess that's just how it's gonna be.
It looks like you, Brotalus. Your entire being.
You don't know what I look like.
Yes,
You don't know what I'm like.
Don't lie to me.
I lie to everyone. That picture that you saw was a face double. He was just an NFT.
No.
That's dumb. All right, let's get something else to play here for a few minutes. And I think I'll go for another 30 or 40 minutes or so.
Oh, man.
Because
The video you saw of me was an NFT.
yep, whole thing. Kind of hard, like, you know, a little difficult to, I guess, sell. Because you have to watch the entire thing to actually, whatever.
I'm thinking like, you see, I would love in some way, it'd be funny and stupid and probably would annoy you, Rotalus, but it'd be amazing to just see your face somewhere on the NFT shop.
I would hate that, and also that's my likeness. It should be illegal to do that, and probably is. You can't just use my face. I like to imagine that would be illegal. I hope. Can we get a lawyer in on this?
I mean, yeah, you could probably get a lawyer on that.
I think it's time to sue Sega for using my face.
Oh my god! Wait, what would your face be used for? As an NFT, like imagine it's in the game somewhere, what would it be used for? It has to be prominent, so you would know it.
A collectible that you can buy or something like that in the game. It helps Sonic go slightly, marginally faster. So it has very little value, because you can just play the game and get that anyway. Assuming that the game has a built-in progression system.
It makes Sonic go 0.1% faster.
Yeah. Have you ever typed in those values into Unity? They mean a lot. No, that's to assume that the entire game is being made in some sort of engine like Unity, which would be funny to me.
Good.
Like, what? I don't even understand why you guys are doing that. Didn't you make your own lighting engine? Yeah, but we attached that to the game. That was in progress. Oh, that's actually kind of working. What do you think, Rocket?
We actually created the Hedgehog Engine 3 in Unity.
That would be fun. How you feeling about this head so far?
It's looking good.
All right.
Can you look at turn toward?
Which way? Like to the front?
Yeah. Can the only thing that's really throwing me off is the roundness of the inner ear.
Right. It is more pointy. That's true. She got the
Yeah,
Antoine ears.
it's an actual point, not kind of a point. It's an actual point.
All right, Mr. Pedantic. Let me fix that.
Mr. Pedantic says the artist to the artist.
Yeah, right. We're a little bit. I think that's a little bit like the pot calling the kettle black. I also am quite exacting myself in some ways. Though I want to make sure I capture it right.
I think all artists are pedantic to some degree.
Might be a part of the job.
Like,
That look
Oh,
is
man.
that. Okay, maybe I should bring that little in a little bit more. Make it a little thicker inner
you know,
ears.
Brotalus, he's always getting thick.
Yeah. Can you put on like wireframe mode to see how it's supposed to be like compared to the image?
Sure, let me take a look. How do I do wireframe again? I know how to do it. I know what I'm doing. Yes, it's in the views. Objects. Hidden wire. I need it. There it is. That's wireframe. Okay, go back to this thing and turn this hidden wire thing off. That's. What
You
the
know,
heck?
I have a random thought. When it comes to us, like, I know Brotalus doesn't really write stories, but at least, like, when it comes to the other three of us, how much of like these types of conversations influence your writing in any way whatsoever. You could use this for influence for a character or a scene or a moment where you think to your life, like, that was a funny moment in my life, I want to incorporate that into a story. How much of these like little Discord conversations do you think impact your writing in any way?
If it does, it's very, very little.
I know for a fact there's a little bit of you three in at least some of my characters. I know that much.
Which
Yeah,
one
like-
am I?
Huh?
Which one am I?
You're a bat.
Audrey.
Yay!
All right. Well, he's happy about it.
Well, whatever I'm writing something, I don't particularly latch onto a moment in my life. It's just all kind of there all at once, and I don't know where I pull inspiration from. I'm
Yeah,
not really
it's more
thinking about it.
subconscious.
It's subconscious.
Yeah, no.
And then
Yeah.
and then like after I'm done writing it, I don't know what I've created, and then I look at it, I'm like, this fits really well with this. This goes
Yeah.
really well with this, and then
That's
like,
right.
wow, this is actually really good.
You retroactively know how well you wrote it. But
Right. I
yeah,
don't know how good it is until it's done, and then I'm like, this actually makes a lot of sense. It's pretty cool.
I know
That's
that
how-
feeling a little bit. I'm thinking like, whenever I have conversations with people, because that's like my favorite aspect of life, just like different people and perspectives and like learning from other like people. I love like the variation and like the diversity and perspective and like, you know, just life experiences and knowledge and viewpoints. I love that type of stuff. And like whenever I talk to people like you or just any people, like I could be influenced by like some random person I walk across the street, but it's like when I get to know people to some degree, like when I talk to people regularly, like people like you guys, I like to incorporate that into like an actual character. That's part of the way like I think to achieve three-dimensional character character writing or perspective or development by incorporating like raw like real life experiences into that writing to make them feel like real people, because they are based directly, and some habits and like, you know, behaviors or other external factors are intrinsically linked to real experiences I've had in my life. So they're just directly translated. Not like that's all that they are, but it's like influential. It's like,
Yeah.
That's a method.
Yeah, I get where you're going with that. Sorry,
And Battlefield.
no, I'm not.
Oh, sorry. Let me not preempt you.
How could you make assumptions about things that I do on a regular
Dare you-
basis?
I don't know. It's
right?
tough.
How dare you make assumptions on what video game I'm playing? You piece of garbage.
I'm so sorry. Oh no. I mean,
How dare you make a reasonable assumption about what I'm doing?
I don't know.
Do
It's,
you think I'm playing a
tough.
Spider-Man game? Well, joke's on you, buddy. I'm playing Astro's Playroom on my PlayStation 5.
Yeah. How do you feel now, huh? Huh? Maybe you shouldn't judge me so much next time, huh? Yeah. Anyway.
Man, I 100% of that game last night. I was just playing through it again because I'm like, I want to play a game on my PlayStation 5 that is on my PlayStation 5 for my PlayStation 5 because I don't have many of those experiences. So I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to play through this packing game that came with every version of this system. And I played through a little bit when I first got the console, like last year, but I never finished it. So I'm just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to play through the rest of this. And then when I got to the end, I noticed like I was missing like 3 collectibles. So I'm like, you know what, screw it. And I just 100%ed the game. And I just thought, I remember thinking to myself, I 100%ed Astro's Playroom. Do I feel accomplished? No, but I feel satisfied. Because it's like just, it's one of those things where you just look at it and be like, yep, I did this. Like, it's like,
You did. Congratulations. What did I do? Oh. Oh,
it's
no.
like one of those weird feelings when it comes to 100% in game, because like I either do it just because it seems manageable, because like, you know, it's like, oh, I'll get the most out of this game because it's easy to do that, or I do it because I actively want to do everything regardless of challenge. And for me, like the latter is definitely the more interesting, because then you're motivated to like do it for like your own value, like your own valuables, like, and reasons. Like you go to like just doing it. Like I don't want to complete a game just because it's like it's easy. I mean, that's the type of player I am. for the most part, like if I can get the most out of a video game by doing everything there is to possibly do in that game, and it seems like a manageable task, I'll do it because I want to get as much out of the game as possible. I don't like I rarely ever like stop playing a game unless it's like just based on that, like something like Last of Us or Uncharted. I rarely just play the story or like the main campaign and just get done with it. I always want to experience like bonus content or like, you know, side stuff, and sometimes that leads to 100%ing stuff. Not all the time. It really depends on the game. But I rarely play games like over or just one time. I'm like that with movies too. I like going back to like games or movies like to get a second experience or perspective to think like, okay, I want to get more than just my initial like impressions on a piece of media, because I think to myself, I watched something once, it's like, okay, that's a good, like the raw impression is like one of the more like the most valuable, because you know, first impressions and all that. But like I like to be able to look at like things like at a second point, not like necessarily from like a critical eye, from like the eye of, I know everything this has to offer. Is it like, you know, do I get anything more out of it, or is it just as good you know, the second time around with me knowing everything there is already? How is it made? How is it crafted? Am I having fun? What are all the elements of this like put into like, you know, and I guess the critical eye, just more of like a deeper lens, a second viewing of perspective. That's why I don't really do things just one time. I like getting multiple perspectives, and sometimes it changes even, like, you know, after years of experiencing different things, or like, you know, just going through life, your perspective and opinions can change, and I like seeing how that affects our viewpoints and our perspectives on media or just things in general. I always find that interesting.
Yeah, I think I said this before, but very few games that I play more than once. Just one time is enough.
But you know, to each their own. I might play some games, just jump back into them. I never play them all the way through. I just want to experience the game a little bit. Like, I know I do that a lot with Horizon. I just sort of pop it back in and just check it out. But I've never gone, like, you know, for a straight up completion of the campaign again. I do that with Breath of the Wild because it's just fun to play around in the sandbox. But yeah, that's just me. I used to watch movies over and over and over again. Like, I would just do it again and again. A lot of things were like that until I got sick of them. Actually, I don't even know if I ever got sick of them. I just stopped doing that at some point. I don't know when. Fine.
You know, just thinking about movies makes me think. I bought my tickets to go see Uncharted a little while ago, and it makes me think like, all right, buddy.
Oh, when's that coming out?
Let's go see Mark Wahlberg. Let's go see Mark Wahlberg.
You mean you don't want to see babyface Drake? You're not into it?
I do love the fact that Tom Holland looks like he's perpetually 15 years old.
So how long are you streaming the game? That's a good question, PJ Squared. Usually, I plan these things for about an hour, not an hour, 2 hours or something like that. And if I get really into it, I'll spend a little longer. I'm thinking I'm coming about to the end of this particular session. I am not done by any means, but I feel like I'm in a pretty good place with Millie's head. I feel happy about that. And I'm going to try to stick to my 3-stream rule when it comes to these characters, so I'll be doing more on her next time. Like, no more than three streams. I don't want to bore everyone to death with the same character over and over again. By that time, we'll have another poll, I guess. I think the poll was a good idea, personally. We got a lot of engagement. A lot of people were interested in seeing which character we did next, so I think we do that again. That's a winner. And we'll just see what we make next. But Millie coming together pretty well. I'm going to be bringing her body in. I'm not going to remake hands or anything like that. I'm legit going to just use the model that I made for Amy's body for Millie's body. Because
you're just using Amy's body?
Yes, I'm going to be using Amy's
Do they all
body.
have the same body? Do they all have the same body?
Not all of them. I made Scream's body separate. I was thinking I'd use it as a template, but I'm probably just going to end up making just Amy like I did last time, and then just reuse her body and hands. Because body didn't take a long time. Hands did, and I feel like I can streamline this process significantly if I just bring in a body I've already made, you know?
Just using some hands. I'm thinking
Just take some hands
like,
and use them again.
I voted for the furry dude, by the way. Yeah, no. I voted for the robot.
Furry dude? Fury dude. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Fury dude. Oh,
Fury ostrich. Just one R.
Yeah, ostrich is cool. I mainly voted for the ostrich because I thought, like, would Rolos be sick of doing nothing but characters all the time? Do something new. It's just...
Well, one of the reasons I put this up there because I couldn't really decide. I was like, I could do either. And then towards the end, I was like, maybe I'll do the Fury Ostrich because he'll be easier. He's just a bunch of shapes. I can throw that together pretty quickly. But then, you know, as the vote would have it, I'm doing Millie. Not that it's a problem. I can do either. I probably would be halfway done with the ostrich right now because he's so simple. But, you know, I'll work on him in some other time. Maybe... I don't know if I should bring back character models like enemy designs, because the argument there is I'm going to do them eventually at some point. But maybe it'll be between two story characters, or if I run out of story characters, we'll do character and robot. Let me not say what I won't do at this point, because I don't know yet. So, yeah. Thank you for voting, though. I'm glad that everyone, you know, engaged with that.
Remember, everybody, it's your responsibility to vote for the sake of these streams.
Yeah, if you don't vote, then I won't make a decision. I will literally just sit here, and since no one voted, I'm not going to do anything. We're just going to sit here and talk.
Just like real politics.
That's how that works. When you don't vote, nothing happens. Yeah. There's no downside, no upside. It's just neutral somehow. Obviously not.
Arguably.
So, the, yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Again.
I'm thinking, like, when it comes to progress, how do you feel like when it comes to, like, getting like stuff like this done? Do you think to yourself, like, oh man, like, I feel so good this is getting done, like, overall for the game? Like, how, like, would you say you're, like, satisfied with how, like, the game is going right now? Or, like, what's your, like, general thoughts on the progress?
General thoughts on the progress is that we're moving pretty well in some places, and we're a bit stagnant in others, which is kind of typical. There's always going to be some place where we're going to lag a little bit. Maybe we'll find someone who will keep us all on track with all of our tasks, but I'm happy with where things are going with concept art. I'm happy with the story progression. We're going to have another meeting on that on Monday. I'm going to try to make sure as many things are up in the air and moving as possible. So I'm happy with that. And I feel like other parts of it, if we keep moving on, there's a high likelihood that we'll be able to get that moving too. So, like, you know, I wouldn't, like, at any point go like, oh, I'm going to give up because I don't have this exact thing. It's like, you know, do what you can, get what you can get done going, and work with the other stuff as it comes, really. So, I mean, I'm happy with it because as a free fan project, I think we're doing pretty good. Like, we're still together. We're still actively focusing on the project. We haven't devolved into some sort of internet drama. We don't hate each other.
Well, most of us.
To a demonstrable degree. No one has shown that they have had too much animosity towards anybody else. I don't know what's in everyone's heart, but so
he's not friends with anybody here. Well, specifically you. He cut ties with you at least like 40 times.
Well, you know, and you see how it's affected me, right? I'm a broken man. So
he keeps pulling back.
I think it's just because we're still here and someone to talk to, honestly. But I'm kidding about that, Canton. Welcome back. He didn't leave. What am I talking about? Anyway, I feel like we're doing well for a thing that no one is getting paid for, where everyone's here at will. We're doing pretty good. I don't know of many other projects that are doing what we're trying to do, or like on this level, that money isn't involved with, or that somehow some crazy mishap has not torn them apart. Not saying that we're uniquely special in that way. I just think that, for what I can see, we're doing all right.
Well,
What is this?
if there was any day that Rotolus was like, I'm done, this project's pretty much done. So
What would... Yeah,
don't do that, Rotolus.
I've said this a billion times.
I'll do what I can.
Not to put too much stress on you, Rotolus, but I've said this a billion times. When you leave, the project dies.
Thank
You're
you.
the heart and soul of
Thank you
this
for
thing.
putting that on me. I need that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I didn't know that, but I don't like to think about it very much. I want this project to be bigger than me, But it would have to be like, I'd have to get someone else with my level of interest and excitement for the game project with
Oh,
on
and
it. Not saying that you guys aren't. I'm just saying like,
and someone who is charismatic enough that people want to just like listen to.
oh, that's appreciated.
Charismatic, but I don't care about the game. I care about you guys.
Yeah, you've made that painfully clear. But you know what? Whatever. Take what I can get, I guess.
It's not like I don't care about like your progress or anything. I find that fascinating. It's just
I
like
mean, you did ask me just a moment ago. You can't be up here like, I don't care.
Kyra's gonna be like, you guys got the fan game done finally. It's be like 10 years from now. He's gonna have a big beard, and it's like, and he's like, I want back on the team. Like, oh.
I've said this a billion times. The second you guys go to make an original thing, I'll hop back on that team.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be like, yes, Cryo, sure. You helped us very little last time, sure.
Like, yeah, we need you to fill out this application in an NDA, and this is now a money thing.
You fill out this application, we'll get back to you, Cryo. And it's like 3 weeks later.
You're real dick.
I don't need you. I have my own thing. No, but it's
You
like,
do have your own thing, and that's
But
good.
like, I think for me, it's just like I just don't get the appeal of like making a fan game, and it's purely just me. I just don't get the same level of satisfaction or fulfillment out of making something based on a pre-existing property as I do making something new. It's just like inherently built into my mind. I try, unless it's like a commission or something where I'm like getting paid for it and there's like some sort of other benefit from
That's
doing
what
that
it was.
thing.
Okay, because it's gracious me.
Like it has to be small, it has to be quick for me. Like I just don't like making fan content just for the sake of it because I don't ever feel that way. I just
And that's a way to feel.
I guess to ask a question then though, but like what is the appeal for you on making fan stuff as opposed to original stuff? Outside of like, oh, it's difficult or whatever, like, is there some sort of like intrinsic value to it that you find outside of focusing on something new?
Well, it's like when there's a character you really like and no one's making a game about him, you kind of might want to do that yourself or help with it at least. So that one's for Tails. So I'll do it for Tails.
There's also the appreciation that one might feel for contributing to something that they like rather than just being a consumer. I want to just make something. I want to do something. I would like to do it based on this.
I haven't made anything really significant in my life, so this is awesome. Like, and like being able to write for Tails is so cool. It's so fucking cool. Like, even if it's just a fan, even if it's a fan game, it's like the most. It's exactly what I've ever wanted in a Tails game, I would say. I mean, I've had influence of that, but it's like it was mostly like this to begin with. Right? So it's so cool. It's like an explorer, collectathon, adventure, kind of more lore based, a little slower.
A game where you get to really inhabit the character of Tails. I don't know. Let me not finish your sentence.
Feel like Tails.
No, you're not finishing my sentence. You're betraying that you understand what I'm going for, and you realize that I'm slipping on my words. So you're helping out.
Hopefully, I'm helping, and not just. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
It's like Jinx is like, I've never done anything really significant in my life. It's like, Jinx, that's not true. You made me smile.
He's like, yeah, and it's like I don't see that as being important. Which would be a really.
Generally, when I talk to people, I try to spread reason, logic, and also make people smile and laugh and feel better about themselves in general.
Yeah.
But I like doing stuff like that, but I haven't created enough.
Right.
And I have the ability, and I haven't done it enough.
Not sure that no one wants to do their own original stuff, though. Yeah, no, it's not that I don't want to do my own original stuff. I just want to do this. This is what I'm doing. This is a group project. Right. This is what I'm doing. I'm following my my own little goals here.
Jinx is like, I want to make my own original stuff. I have the ability to. I just haven't yet. It's like, yeah, Jinx, you can do your own stuff. If you ever need help, though, hit me up. Give me some money. I don't know.
I wouldn't
Give
be able to
Cryo
pay you it.
money.
I wouldn't be able to pay Cryo at first, and his art style isn't exactly what I was looking for with my ideas. But you know what? Maybe it could work. It could work.
It is improving.
And also, I could try to develop something different.
Something else, yeah, something different. Yeah, that's true as well. Your art style doesn't have to be what you are now.
It can
but-
always. But yeah, like some people are especially on this team, are like able to kind of conform or try to do different things, because you got your basic art style, which is stuff that you always draw for yourself. But if you're commissioned to do something, and they ask for something for specific, then you like, okay, I can switch it up, change a few things, meet the commissioner's ideas.
Like, damn, I'll have to draw a human body. Oh.
Well, my world would have humans and fantasy creatures, but they would have to be in a cartoon enough way that they both look normal next to each other. Yeah.
That's not
Tough balance.
I was about to say that's not hard. It's just possible in that way. I'm thinking like, what's it? It's like, what's it? One of those things where, you're honestly like, I remember you were talking to me, Jinx, about your entire like comic series or like your ideas for it. I'm just like, all right, fantasy, I'm down. Animals, cool, I'm good. I'll do it.
Honestly, there's not that many animals. There's Jinx, and then his race was mostly wiped out.
Yep.
And then we got the regular kind of fantasy setting. So we got orcs and elves and humans and stuff.
But there are animals, so I'm good.
Yes.
There's no animals in this story. I hate it. I want to associate.
So the idea is that these creatures are like a normal part of this fantasy universe that no one ever knew about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, like I love seeing like stuff progress and just seeing people get done with their stuff. It's like one of the most like interesting feelings. Yeah, I just love seeing people complete their work and doing what they want to do. As much as I may not understand what you're doing, Rodolus, and I think you're completely wrong for following your own passions and doing what you want to do.
Absolutely. No.
It's fun to see it get done.
Man.
And also,
I think I'm
Sonic
happy
is
with
cool.
that head.
Honestly, like, I have so much apathy towards the actual Sonic the Hedgehog franchise and don't care that it's just like, man, if I want good Sonic content, I really like the only Sonic thing that I can say that I am like actively invested in to any degree is probably this project, and that says either a lot about Sonic or a lot about you, or probably both. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know what to say.
I feel like I might be devaluing your work. I don't mean to do that. I just don't like. It's not about any of that. I do like. I think your stuff is fantastic, and you do fantastic work, and it's great. It's just like a matter of like. Every time I look at it, I just like question, because I don't get it. I always look to people that do understand and want to do this thing, and I think to myself, why is that? And it's less so just the why do they want to do it, but more so just me introspectively looking at it's like, why don't I like that? Why do they like it? Why is there like a difference in perspective or wants or needs when it comes to similar things and interests? I love dissecting that type of stuff. That's interesting to me. That's always what I've loved.
Well,
In this case,
forgive me for giving just a overly simplified answers, because that's what I want to do. You're two different people. Jeez.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things where it's like, that is the answer, and I don't disagree with it. It's like one of those things that I look at, and I'm like, we're two different people, and then I think to myself, why is that the case? That like I always love diving into that.
Why are we not melded together like water?
Well, okay, that's an interesting question, PJ. Then why do you care about this project?
Care about Sonic at all until might be the people.
What makes it what? what makes this project stand out in your mind? That's what I'd
Also,
like to
Rodolus, how does it make
put
you
it
feel
in a different way.
And also, Rodolus, how does it make you feel knowing that your project introduced somebody to Sonic and made them care?
Well, welcome to Sonic.
Oh, no.
There's a lot of things going on here, but please don't let them disappoint you too much.
You're always so self-deprecating.
I'm not
No,
talking about
it's-
myself. I was talking
It's
about
not
the.
about the Sonic franchise in general. It's like
It wasn't about
a
me
lot of
personally.
people don't. A lot of people just like the characters for some reason, but the
Yeah, they-
games themselves, they're just like, eh.
Yeah, they might like the aesthetic. They might like the world that Sonic takes place in, and then
Mm-mm.
the
It's like it's something about it. It's like really captivates people, and it's like super simple too. Just these cute furry creatures who have special powers. Inside.
The aesthetic of Sonic is like the most important part of the entire franchise. It's what makes it unique and distinct.
Mm.
You know when you're looking at a Sonic thing.
grab.
Or a copy of it.
Yeah, like, oh, that's a fake Sonic thing. You can tell it's not the real thing either. Like, that's
It's
not
like-
official
it's
Sonic.
like
That's
they're both-
someone's interpretation.
Let's see here. Because I've been following Rodolus since he... I know it said started doing this, but it makes me think since he was a wee lad. Let's make Tails
The
video
Rodolus
that's
fan.
following you. I'm his #1 fan, so I started looking at all things Sonic and Tails.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
got a
you
fan
very
of
much.
Rodolus.
I appreciate that to no end.
Oh, I thought he's a fan of he's a fan of Rodolus. That's so
What
cool.
does that put into my mind that like Rodolus is standing on like a concert stage, and then you just see like this wide empty audience, but PJ is just there like ravenous screaming in the front row. I
Then
see
they
Rodolus
started the Thick Crew, and
Oh.
Cryo et al. Were always
Fun to-
on streams. It was fun to watch.
Okay, well, you know what? That's a way.
Rodolus was your introduction. I'm why you stayed. You came for the Rodolus, stayed for the me. That's a good way to come out of that.
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah,
I think I'm more or less happy with
if
her.
it's not willing to kick Cryo off her stream.
Are you suggesting that I do?
No.
You want to get rid of me? The heart
No.
and soul of live streams?
No.
Out.
No, it's just messing around. But you do bring a certain je ne sais quoi.
I don't know what that word means, but I'm gonna assume it's something heartwarming.
It's a French phrase. It just means a certain I don't know what. Like it means I don't know what.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's something there
Yeah.
that's
It's
like unique and
you-
special. No.
What's unique
really
about
do.
me? What do you love about me, Rodolus?
I already
Talk about
answered you.
me.
Oh, sure. No, I mean, I guess that particular need to be talked about. No,
Ah,
that's
I
unique.
like all the folks on the stream, and I tell everyone about this project. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
God. Blush.
All right, Rodolus, it's time to make a plushie.
A
And then-
plush.
We can have PJ buy the only one who buys.
Are you allowed to do that?
A plushie
You
of
can
what?
make a
Of
you can make a
Rodolus?
Rodolus plushie.
I
Yeah,
absolutely could.
Oh,
It's
Rodolus
just a.
plush. I was thinking like a plush of like Armada
It's
Tails.
just I can make
Probably
a.
not.
Probably could, but you know, it's selling it would be dubious.
It
Um,
wouldn't be called Tails. It'd be
It'd
like
be called
Armada T or something. I don't
yeah, like
know. Different colored
Armada
tails.
protagonist, Speedy Fighter, or Two-Tailed Hero.
Twin-tailed
You
hero.
Armada
Yeah.
leader.
Well, certainly that's not Tails. Unless it was the part of the game story where Tails becomes the Battle Lord.
That's the bad ending.
Bad ending is he becomes Battle Lord.
Well, they do believe in strength, like might makes right, and Tails technically wins, so they
Beats
dub
everybody.
him their leader. Yeah.
Drop Speedy, just throw him out.
What if that was the premise of our story? Like, Tails is the one who, well, he beat the Battle Lord, so he's the rightful leader of the Battle Birds, and they've just been trying to find him this whole time.
That would be
And
I feel like if I had presented that to you as at the beginning, we would have dropped it already as a plot. Like, yeah, that's basically what we're trying to do, and then like it wouldn't all of a sudden not be happening.
What is going? How
Like,
is that gonna work?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like the project as a whole, right? I talked about me not really getting it a whole lot. Is despite the fact that I used to, I think my opinion just kind of changed. I sort of grew new interest, but it's like one of those things where I do appreciate this project like heavily, and that's part of the reason why I'm still here, because I owe this project so much in terms of like just inspiration in general. Like I currently have been making my own original story, as well as several other things in the back of my brain, but not really the focus. Just for the past like 3 years, I'm currently like just under. Come February 9th, I'll be at the 3-year mark for me like branching off and doing my own thing. I've currently made like a little fun little celebratory thing. I'm going to be posting that on Twitter the day that comes out. And I'm only saying that right here because I knew I wouldn't get another chance to plug it. So follow me on Twitter if you want to see that fun stuff and anything else that I do. But also, I thank this project a lot for just like inspiring me to be able to do my own stuff. So if I owe this project anything in terms of value, it'd be that if I was not a part of this project, I would probably not branch off to do my own thing the way I am now. So I can thank this project for that, like the most. Like,
Well, glad
Maybe
we
the
were
project
here.
held you back.
The project held him back.
Yeah.
Or holding him back, and he realized that. It's like, y'all got it. I gotta go.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean, Jake?
I'm just an idiot, and I'm thinking about butterfly effect and all that, and you don't know what you would have been doing had you never joined the project, and maybe you would have been something else would have inspired you to be super focused on it, be even way
Maybe.
further than you are now.
I know, yeah.
But you know, I'm just being pedantic and stupid. You know, listening.
Yeah.
No, that's the artist thing. We're all pedantic. Is that what they were saying?
That's what I said. Not all of us. Thinking like, oh,
Be the most. Alright.
what's it?
Like
But
a
yeah,
mask
no,
she's
like,
wearing now.
I don't want to say this project ever held me back. It inspired me, and then I thought to myself, I can't keep working on this thing because I want to put my focus into something else. So I guess it ended up kind of doing that, but also not. But kind of.
Alright then. Great. I think
You eventually.
you've gone through and explained it at least 5 different ways, and I appreciate all of it. Let's just.
I'm gonna keep explaining so you can feel insulted retroactively.
I don't know if I feel insulted. I'm just like, yes, thank you for the story. And when you become a Pulitzer Prize winning author for your comic series, we'll all look back at
And
this.
we're
and be
still
like,
making this.
You not
Yeah.
like hearing people talk about themselves in any context. You know?
Did I say that? Or do you feel that that's what I'm saying? Because I know I didn't say that, Cryo.
He's strawmanning you. He's strawmanning you.
Ah!
Like, do you feel threatened by the things that I like? No, shut up. All right, let's.
Don't worry, Rodolus. When I'm making all the money in the world, and it's guaranteed to happen,
Mhm.
nothing can set me back. It is fate. It is destined in the cards of my eyes.
In your
Yeah.
eyes.
Hey, I'll still have no money, and I'll be like, hey, remember me?
You want to work on them projects? You were talking about it before. You want to do it now? Like, hey, let's collab, bro.
Remember you said I was a good writer. Remember, you're like, I
I
don't need you.
If you noticed on Discord, I almost always use the Roto icon. Thank you. I appreciate that. We all appreciate that so much. Yeah, Tailsy, yeah, he did make that.
No, honestly, in retrospect, it was a little bit of a collab because I keyed out the image.
Yeah, I suppose. In retrospect, I provided my face for the use of your... I didn't actually. You just decided to use it. If I was less cool, I would have just been like, delete that. I could delete it at any time, so I guess I don't actually care.
You like to pretend that you do for the
He
hype.
begrudgingly accepts it.
Well, it's what it is. And you know what? It's nice to be appreciated, even if
You're
it's for
destined to be a
ridiculous
meme,
stuff like that.
Roland. Me and Jake
And
already
that's
said
why
you're destined to be a meme. That's your life now, whether you like it or not. This is where you are.
I've never shown my face.
Oh, because you don't want to get memed? Is that the idea?
That was going to happen, guaranteed.
You
if
wake
I
up,
ever do it.
you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, like, oh no, it's a meme. It can be a meme so easily.
don't.
I think about like putting my face in places, thinking like, well, how would I feel if I became a meme? And I think to myself,
It's
I wouldn't
not
care.
because it's like it's a community-made thing. I could put it on there, but I feel like that belongs on Armada more than anything else. DJ.
Honestly, for me, if my face started circulating, I would either be like, I don't care, or just think to myself, yeah.
They got a picture of my face out there. Look at me, I'm so cool. Look at me.
It is kind of feel like that. I'm not gonna lie.
I like to see people use things that I make, but this is different in a way.
That's the heart of it. But if somebody takes your face and then it becomes a meme, that's just a different level of satisfaction.
I wonder if that's how Scumbag Steve felt when he saw his face being used for all those memes. Does anyone know what I'm referring to? The kid with the hat?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just all like, because he is the real person, and he's like, okay. You know, I'm not just like a scumbag. You just decided that that's because I'm wearing that I am one. He didn't get mad about it, which I think was, the right move, because, you get mad about something, inherently people will do it more, because they want to...
So it's like, who cares? Like, you have no control, and it's just some dumb internet thing.
Being forever associated with negativity, I don't know, I would probably care. M, and then go ahead and enter. I think I feel like I'm at that point where I don't want to break anything. Not that I would. I mean, things need to be fixed and changed. I feel like maybe the angle of her ears could be changed. Rocket, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
How you feeling about the head?
I think it's looking pretty good. Can you turn it to the front again?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking really good.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. So,
Actually, it's looking pretty spot on, if I say so, because it looks really good at multiple angles.
yeah, that's what we try to do. And of course, thank you for the concept and the nicely lined up references. Made it very easy to do that. I know her ears are supposed to do like some kind of a thing where they sort of travel across her head. I might make that change a little bit later, and of course give her a little hair tuft.
You mean travel across her head?
So if you look at the reference images, right, it starts in one place down here at the bottom. Okay, that's wrong. I turned off the wrong thing. Starts down here towards the back of her head, and then it moves up towards near the front. Recreating that's a bit challenging.
Well, honestly, I think the way you have it angled right now, I think is probably better.
Oh, okay, well, as long as you're happy with it. I mean, that's...
I think the only thing that I would change about the ears is maybe like at the base, maybe puff it out a little bit more so it's like there's a little bit more of an ear canal.
Oh, you're thinking like towards the base, I guess you're talking about the ridge, like make that a little more?
Like near the back, where it's like give it a little bit of a, like blow it up a little bit.
Blow it up. Oh, have it stick out back more?
Yeah, stick it out a little bit in the back.
I see
yeah.
what you're talking about. Let me give that a shot then.
Get those puffy ears. Get those wide, big dog ears.
Big old coyote ears.
Well, save before you do that. Just so in case it doesn't work.
Oh, of course. Oh, we be saving constantly. Just save states all over the place.
Are you safe?
Sometimes...
Are you safe scumming Blender?
You're gonna sit here and pretend that you don't when you're working on something. You're like, at a crucial point, it's starting to get really good. And you're like, I would really hate to lose this progress.
Yeah.
You're like, I gotta make sure. That's what happens when I'm like really done with something.
What's a worse feeling for you? Like opening a file and realizing that it randomly corrupted, or closing a file, realizing that you hadn't saved in a while? Because one is of your own error, and the other one is just, like, completely random. Which one do you think is worse?
Well, I think the one because I created the problem, then, that's more of a problem. I very rarely get corrupted Blender files. Not, like, bragging on Blender, but that's usually not the problem. It's usually, like, if it's gonna corrupt, then it happens when the thing crashes, and I'm like, oh, I didn't save. Like, I'm actively working with it. Then it gets all messed up. I'm like, oh, I didn't save anything in a while. And the autosaves that Blender does, because it does autosaves and it does like a point save where even if you close it and you didn't save it, there's like a it always has like a little tiny autosave backup that you can go and find. sometimes that saves the day, and then sometimes if it crashed when that happened, it's corrupted. And so you're like, but it's like it happens while I'm aware of it. And it's
You,
like,
you
oh
want to
no.
think of like, you want to imagine like dumb design failures. Imagine opening a program like that Blender or Clip Studio, and then you go to close it, and it doesn't have a prompt to be like, do you want to save this or this was altered? And
Oh.
just go,
I just expect that won't come up one day, and that's why I always just save stuff. Like one day it'll forget somehow.
yeah,
And I've got to remember
I know
for the
that feeling.
computer. Like,
Yup,
I don't know.
yup.
It's not
It's
even a
just a bug one day. It's just
It's like, yeah, it doesn't remember to save itself. And that's usually what happens when I'm done with a commission. Like, I've completed everything that the guy wanted. I've got the rig and everything. I'm just like, it's just like, we're done, right? I'm just going around posing and making sure that the outside, like this thing over here called the outliner and everything like that, it has like less stuff in it, and this stuff, I'm just Control S after every action. It's compulsive.
Yup.
It's like a thing
Yup.
that I just do. I know I don't have
Just
to.
screw missing anything because you don't want to do it again.
I know, because I don't want it. And like, I'm gonna, especially with the bunny thing, because it was so many different versions of bunny, I had to compare them to each other and make sure they all have the same features and would work the right way. And then when you send something, I hate it when I send it off to my commission, my client, and then I notice something, I'm like, I need to fix that.
I hate that. I hate that feeling. That is the worst.
And it's just something that's just utterly broken, but I missed it
Yeah,
somehow.
no. Okay, not like utterly broken, but like you ever get like those feelings where it's like you release something or like post it, and then you realize like small little like minor like issues like over your art or like one tiny little thing that like 99% of the population won't notice, but you see, so then you're like somebody else might see that. Oh,
That's the perfectionist. That's just what happens, man. What are you gonna do? It's like,
worse.
how do you feel about
Every
this?
time that happens to me, I think to myself like every time that
Let's see here.
happens
Can
to
you
me-
zoom it out? Yeah, it looks nice.
Okay. To be getting our hair tuft. I could probably do the hair tuft today before I close out. What's it look like again? It's
243.
just two little. They're connected, but I'm gonna have them intersect with her head right now.
They're
The other
two
way around.
little triangles.
Well, they're, I guess technically triangles. I'm gonna make them out of cones, because you know how I do. I make everything out of
cylinders.
yeah, basically pointy cylinders.
Cones are just triangles from certain angles.
I suppose that's sort of true, except for the bottom
I-
part, which makes them more of like
Like
those rounded triangles,
Yeah, like
which I forget what those are called. I know they have a name.
I mean, I guess if like you put a cone. They're
If it's
actually, like-
orthogonal, if you're looking at it orthogonally, a cone is just a triangle. But if you have a
Yeah.
perspective on, then it'll have a rounded bottom. Of course, you can do the same thing with a rectangular prism, a triangular prism, or a pyramid. Which is sort of like that. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the hair. Make sure she's nice and unique. Like I said, we're going to be using Amy's body. So next stream, we're going to come in and do her muzzle and nose. She's got a larger nose than most Sonic characters. Like, even in your Forces game, they
Yeah,
didn't
like
have
a
noses
normal
that
animal
big.
nose.
Yeah. How dare you draw her so
but-
nicely.
But I'm thinking like, what's it? I don't know why I'm randomly thinking back to the Sonic movie 2 thing.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, like, there was like a tiny little clip that had like a little bit of new footage in it, and it made me think like
Still haven't watched that.
Scene where Sonic is running on the water, and I feel like a nitpicky asshole for this, but I look at like Sonic step onto the water, but it looks like he's not like pushing himself forward enough. It feels like he just takes like a straight forward like straight down like step onto the water, not like he's pushing the water with his foot, like he's moving his foot, like his leg at an angle, or like backwards or forwards constantly to make his like foot bend across the water, like push it forward. He's just taking a flat step onto the water, and it looks weird to me. It looks
Problem with that scene is he's putting his nice ass shoes in the water.
Tom spent a lot of money on those shoes, Sonic. How could you?
no, that little girl just had them.
Yeah, that was a birthday.
That's true, I forgot about that.
That was a gift.
Where
And
did that
you're
girl
ruining
get
it
those?
by putting it in the goddamn water. You
I don't
dumb
know.
asshole.
Is that
Don't
little
worry
girl
about
just
it.
have Sonic shoes?
She just has Sonic shoes. What are you worried about? You think this is a problem? You think this is lore breaking?
This is a continuity error in the Sonic franchise. The lore just doesn't add up. It needs to be explained. You know what I mean?
Sound like Baldy. Baldy, Space, you've got to explain the lore, Sonic.
Oh gosh, be the Lord.
You gotta do it. I'm gonna be really upset. XX, that's too much.
How do you like it that Knuckles has Tim's though?
And he starts chasing you because you don't know lore.
They look alright.
You know the lore? I'm gonna find you in your house, sir.
He does the ruler slapping thing.
Yeah, he just starts, I'm gonna smack you with the ruler. Like, come on now. How do I feel about Knuckles having Tim's? I mean, I was expecting that they were gonna give him some sort of realistic looking shoe. They did it for Sonic, right? And boots, construction boots are fine, considering they kept the Lego bricks on there for some reason.
I swear to God, if they don't have a collab with any of those shoe companies this time around, I'm gonna be legitimately angry.
You're gonna be angry about that?
What the shoes,
Why can't
damn
we
it.
buy Sonic shoes. Still. What?
And it's 2022. I can't buy Sonic shoes yet. I don't get hovering cars. I don't get, like,
I mean, Sonic
space.
shoes though are a pretty obvious one. That's not hovering. That's not even comparable.
No, it
Dude,
isn't.
It's just like they are Sonic shoes. They are designed, and we can't buy them. And
Well,
they made,
that would cost some
like,
money.
They made multiple versions of those shoes. I mean, probably for testing or something, but like, you can just make those shoes.
Yeah.
They also did like that collab video thing with Puma where they made a version of those shoes.
Of all the things to be
It's
worried
not
about.
for sale.
It's a concept shoe. You know, it's like when they came up with that concept Camaro for Transformers.
Shut up, take
and then
my
they started
money.
selling
I
it.
want this. Give it to me.
It's like you have Sonic shoes, like a Sonic branded Puma shoe in the movie for Sonic himself. And it's like, oh wow, Pumas are so cool. It's like, yeah, you can buy Pumas. I can buy Sonic shoes? No.
You can buy Pumas. Calm down, kid. You're not buying Sonic shoes.
You can buy the ugly Sonic shoes.
What are
You know which ones I'm
those?
talking about? Like
Oh, the
old
broken ones? Those New Balance? I don't know what
Yeah.
those were.
Like, I'm talking about those fuzzy ones that were released, like, I think for the 25th anniversary or something.
Oh.
They were like some really ugly Sonic shoes. I think they were Pumas. They were just like really fuzzy and weird. Like, they weren't normal Sonic shoes. It was like a blue shoe with like a fuzzy white and blue texture, and then had like Green Hill like graphics on the base, and like the rim was like.
I think I know what you're talking about. They weren't particularly appealing. It was like, ew, this must have been your old marketing campaign, but why did you do that?
If I want people to look at me and realize you are a
Ridiculous. Like, I want people to think that I'm ridiculous. I can just open my mouth. I don't need to pay money for that.
nerd. No, it's like, if I want people to think I'm a ridiculous nerd, I don't want to wear crappy Sonic shoes. I want to wear real Sonic shoes, so everyone is able to instantly recognize that I'm a nerd, and not look at my fashion sense and be like, what the hell kind of shoes is that?
And
And
also,
not one of those crappy loafers. I want an actual running type shoe.
I'm not gonna run in them, no, but, you know, maybe I would. Sort of one
I
day.
mean, the question is, though,
Get into it.
if they did come out with Sonic and Knuckles branded shoes, would you get the Knuckles shoes or the Sonic shoes?
Probably both. Why? Por que los dos, you know? Constrain myself. Like, look, if I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound.
I don't think Tails even has a branded shoe, though. He just has Tails shoes.
Tails is like, I made these myself, Sonic! Oh, who cares? It's not brand name. They're
He just
Supremes!
looks at in front of him. I made these myself. That's nice.
Oh, no. Rotate on.
No competition.
Honestly, though, ever since I've played Miles Morales, I can't think of Tim's. And I know it might be that they succeeded in their branding, but ever since I played Miles Morales and realized that Miles wears Tim's in that game, I can't disassociate Tim's from Miles Morales.
Interesting. The Miles Morales branding campaign was
I mean, same
successful.
goes for Nike's and Spider-Verse. Every time Miles appears in a new piece of media, he needs to wear a new brand of shoes.
Yeah, he's a fashionable guy, unlike myself. I don't know. I need to buy some new shoes. Actually, that's not even funny. Not even a joke. I need to.
I do like that they're keeping the Nike swoop on Knuckles' chest.
That's a part of his design.
I mean, I know that's his fur, right? But
Yeah.
like, is that is that like a tribal like marking, or is his fur just naturally white?
We don't see
would
very
say-
many other echidnas, so like I couldn't confirm or deny.
I mean, in the movie we
The
do.
Call wears a
I feel like
shirt.
echidnas-
Yeah, but they were wearing like clothes, weren't they?
I do find it curious why the Knuckles, like the echidnas in the first movie, were wearing all this tribal stuff, and Knuckles is just like Knuckles.
Maybe he's not exactly
Is he
related
naked?
to that.
When
Right.
we have context of other animals wearing clothes.
Well, Longclaw wears a weird chest plate thing
Does she?
in the
Okay, so why is Sonic naked then?
because he's a baby, and she was like, "I'm not buying baby clothes. You're just gonna grow out of them." We don't do that.
That's why you don't buy clothes until you're like 20. It's like
Yep.
you don't want to outgrow the.
Especially if you're in like a society that doesn't necessarily care that much about it. Why spend the money?
No, I'm talking about in real life. Just raise a child. Don't wear any clothes until you're like 20 years old, so you don't ever grow out of them. So you.
I mean, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, the only time you change clothes is when they eventually rip off of you due to sheer tension.
Oof. Yeah. It's gruesome.
Man, I'm thinking like, but yeah, no. You think Longclaw is gonna be in the sequel, and if so, do you think they're gonna redesign her?
If she is in her sequel, they probably are gonna redesign her, or she's dead. So, one of those two things. Or
Assuming
they'll,
she's dead.
or a third option is that she will
I
not
mean,
be
it-
redesigned.
I mean, in the cut film, there was a scene of Longclaw literally dying, so I would assume that she's dead.
They didn't plan on doing much with her anyway, so possibly. Yeah.
They might be
Um,
doing the Marvel thing where it's like you see like where you see somebody die, but like you didn't see the corpse, so they're probably still alive.
That's not a Marvel thing. That is a horror movie thing. But sure, I hear
That's
what you're saying. That's a
thing.
common thing. That's a thing that's done in a lot of different medias. Let's be honest with ourselves.
That's true, but I mainly see it in like it's mainly like in my mind like a comic book thing. You don't see somebody die, they're still alive.
This looks very good. Thank you, PJ Squared. But yeah. Oh, you probably said that
What would you
several
say is like your favorite and dumbest comic book death that you've ever heard of, that you know of?
A lot of my references are going to be Archie, so I'm just going to go off.
That's fine. Go with it. Go with it. Go with it.
Death. So this is going to be kind of esoteric because I remember reading the Archie comics. Like, I read all of them when I first found out about them. Anyway, there's a character in there called Hershey Cat. First of all, she was included in... she's like this cat who was... It doesn't matter about her association. She ended up working for the good guys in the end, but at first she was working for this usurper group. And she was wearing this mask. This had to be a Pender's creation. She had like this mask that made her look like Sonic.
It was definitely a Pender's creation.
She had like a mask that made her look like Sonic. They were doing a mission. Sally was climbing up the side of a building, and everyone thought that it was Sonic who was pulling her up, but it was actually Hershey. And then Hershey, because she'd been put to it, she cut
Comparison
the
to
rope.
Sonic, she was like a couple meters taller than him. So I don't know how they missed that detail.
Yeah, she like for a while all the female characters were like weirdly large. But in any case, they she dropped Sally, and Sally fell and supposedly died. And they put her into like this glass case, like Snow White style. Don't know what that was for. I think it was just expected that she was dead. Sonic was a fugitive, whatever. Ultimately, Sally wasn't dead later, but it was just weird that they did that. And then I think towards near the end of the comics run, Hershey was working for the Kingdom of Acorn, and she was like a spy. She was married to Jeffrey St. John, this skunk guy. It's like this. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Anyway, they were working together, and then like all of a sudden it was just like, oh yeah, Hershey died. They didn't show it happen. They didn't make reference to it. It just St. John came back, and he was all like, my wife died. Sonic.
That is the worst kind of character death, the off-screen one.
So it was weird because it was out of nowhere. It served no purpose. So it made a lot of fans just speculate that she's probably not dead, right? She's like just went undercover or something. It's just weird to kill a character off screen like that. And so that never got resolved. The comic ended not too long after that. Well, maybe about a year or so after that. But I know in the Archie Sonic Online thing, they actually have a like one of those, actually it's featured in that. Like, I think either she returns or some issues are involved. I haven't been reading the issues.
Actually worked on the pencils for the issue. She does come back.
Hey, spoilers, but thank you. That's good, because it was stupid that she died in the first place.
Didn't the
Well,
Archie
to be
comics
fair,
literally...
actually, I only worked on the first 2 pages, and then the rest went up to Dark Noise, I believe.
Okay, well,
Didn't the Archie comics literally just end with like people having their subscriptions just like they didn't get canceled, but they just kind of kept going, and like the Sonic comics stopped coming randomly with no notice?
yeah, they started just giving people other comics that they didn't pay for, and they were like, no, I don't want that. What are you doing? I don't actually care about freaking Archie, the character.
That reminds me, when I first got into the Archie comics, the Sonic X run was still around,
Right.
and apparently they ended in January, and I just started a subscription to that, so
Oh.
literally the month that it ended, I was subscribing, so they gave me double issues of Sonic Universe.
Well, at least you got something that you kind of would have wanted.
The thing is, I was subscribing to, like, all 3, so they just ended up giving me double extra copy. of
Oh, he's got
Universe.
extra copies. It's not new stuff.
Honestly, that makes sense because I was thinking like, you just subscribe to Archie or do you subscribe to the comic, like the Lion?
What do you mean?
Do you
Oh,
subscribe to Archie?
There were
itself, or do you
different. There were
subscribe-
different things. You could just subscribe to specific comics. Like, so you're like, oh, I want to read Sonic Universe, or I want to read Sonic the Hedgehog main series, or you could do both. And whenever stuff was running, they would probably let you know if you were like already a like a card carrying, already paying for the stuff because
Yeah.
they had
When
planned
did
to
you- when
end
did you
it.
subscribe?
Hmm?
When did you subscribe?
You're asking? I didn't. I never did actually.
Oh.
I read the comics, but I'm not a good example of a fan.
Oh.
Uh-oh. If the truth comes out, I pirated it. There was this place called TalesKicksAss.net that had access to all of them. Still exists. I think it even has the
Before my
IDW
Archie
stuff.
died. Turns out it's because they didn't get enough money.
Because no one was paying for it. Yeah, that's probably the reason.
I would love it if it had nothing to do with Ken Penders, just it wasn't making enough money, so we canned it.
Yeah, it's like, oh no. I just wanted to know what it was like, and then I got a little carried away. I'm so sorry. Go to subdivision
Oh, man.
surface.
Problem.
Objects.
I think, what is it? I don't know why, thinking of comics makes me think of Miss Marvel now for some reason. And it just, like, of the fact that, I was just thinking about it, like, yesterday, where it's just like, this is a
That doesn't look
character. Miss Marvel is a character in the Marvel Universe, obviously. It's a Marvel character.
Right.
And she, like, one of her defining character quirks is that she writes fan fiction and, like, online fan fiction and crap about, like, Marvel superheroes, which in my mind is like, I get it, because you're trying to go into like that online like meta market and stuff like that, but also like in the context of the universe, you're writing fan fiction about like
Real
real
people?
life.
Well, people do that in
And
real
it's
life
literally-
too. Like they do that for YouTubers and stuff all the time. It's weird. It's very strange. Like those are real people though. That's like, or Trapped in an Island with Josh Hutcherson. We looked at that
Yeah,
video.
It's like that.
It's like he's a real person. You're just like making a fan fiction about a human being. Like I find that odd. Like I can deal with it being about.
Miss Marvel. This is a fact that I just learned like last night, that apparently like Miss Marvel heavily condones and like supports the online ship of Spider-Man and Captain Marvel, and it's like, this is weird.
Hey Peter Parker, you got something for me? Turns out I do. That's awful.
It's my phone number.
It's my phone number. Hey, there you go. You cleaned it up for me. Thank you. That's about to be real gross. Hello, Yoris, the Cat Knight. How you doing? Welcome to the VPL. We're coming to an end, but thank you for stopping by. Working on a character from our game. That's her little hair that I've begun working on there.
And it's like
Like
one
a
of
mask.
my least favorite writing.
Coyote
one of my
girl.
least favorite writing tropes. When it comes to like this, is just like a minor thing. I don't mind when like you parody like media, like real life media, in like a fictional setting. I hate when like you're lazy about it and just like change like a word or something to make it like the legally distinct version of the obviously real world thing instead of like giving its own title in the universe.
Space
So
conflict.
it's like, yeah, it's like that kind of stuff.
Star battles.
Yeah,
Laser
it's stuff-
sword,
it's stuff
yeah.
Like, it's stuff kind of like that, where it's like they're obviously parodying just like this one thing, which in itself isn't bad, but it's like I don't like when it's like in your face, like super obvious, where it's like the name just kind of like gives it away. It's like the sort of like World of Warcraft, just like change like a word or something like that, and then you just change it.
World of Minecraft. Wait, that could actually exist now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're right.
Wait, what? Oh shit!
Right? Activision Blizzard.
It takes you a minute to let it sink in, doesn't it?
It revives the servers. You can now build your own levels in what's it called? What's the world? Azeroth that takes place? Right.
You can play as Steve and Azeroth.
Yeah, he's his own class. I guess he'd technically be a dwarf.
He's the creator, that's the class.
Sure.
He's a Minecraftian.
Minecraftian. They did add new races like the panda folks because Kung Fu Panda. I don't think it was because Kung Fu Panda, but it felt like a Kung Fu Panda thing because it was popular. But I can't imagine you'd build an entire game campaign without having already
Wow,
thought of
we've
it.
been around for
A long time. World of Warcraft is like a mid 90s or early 2000s game. Wait, not
I
mid
remember
90s.
seeing shit of that when I was still in the Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah. Maybe not that late. But World of
And I'm
Warcraft.
saying worse that I was into Thomas the Tank Engine when I was like 5.
Excuse me. It's initial release date was November 23rd, 2004. So it's nearly 20 years old. Currently 18, I guess. Technically.
Man, the world of Thomas the Tank Engine is so shitty.
It's not great. Everyone seems to be stuck in place. They all made that horror game about it. Here.
And then you got like these trains with like faces that are sentient but are just like slave workers basically.
Well, they get paid in coal. I don't know what they do.
Yeah, so,
I
like,
think you're meant not to worry about it. They like doing what they do because that's what they do. Okay, I think I'm good for the day. We've done a lot of work today. Worked on Millie, but I feel like I'm getting to that point where I should probably take a break. So I want to thank everyone for coming on to the stream today. Rocket Pal for your wonderful artwork of Millie here, and Cryo for hanging out, and Jinxed for being here as well, and to all of our lovely viewers and everyone who voted for this lovely character. You'll be seeing more of her as the weeks go on, as well as more renders of Amy once I get stuff done with her because I still need to work on Amy. In any case, I think this is a good place to end the stream. I hate to throw the brakes on like that, but, you know, I'm tired. In any case, thanks for watching. I've been Rodalus, and you've been wonderful. Goodbye!